check. Andy Malavarina. I was gonna say, do I put up my Venmo? I don't know if the Venmo thing is. Oh, I can just hide that. Look at that. Oh. Yeah. Round. What's up? Welcome to another Big Red in the Morning. I'm in a good fucking mood. I'm Big Redding as hard as I've ever fucking Big Redded in my life. Pretty fucking excited. Dunbar, damn, number one in the house. We might have to oh shit, here we go. Fuck yeah. Sorry, I found this video. This will be a good place to start, actually. Because Tim Dillon, yeah, this will be a good place to start while everyone rolls into the chat. Because God, I can't wait till these new I ordered new headphones because these are an absolute fucking nightmare. But I ordered new headphones and they were they're coming today. Pause. They're coming today. I just would have hoped they came before the stream started. Sorry about the late start, boys and girls. Oh God, what the fuck? I woke up. Well, so here's what I do every day when I wake up. I woke up. That's the who's that? Big Sean? No, so I set my alarm. I set my alarm for 8, 8:30, and 9 o'clock. I like a slow roll. I like a slow roll on the wake up. I don't like, and I have that luxury. Bill Miller's in the motherfucking house. King Pindar, you are determined on the Bill Miller front. Determined. I need to fucking shave this stash though. It's starting to creep up over the lip and look bad. Yeah, I need new headphones, dude. These are crazy. It's a real problem of mine. I'm going through it in certain avenues of my life, but it's a real problem of mine where I wait till something becomes absolutely like seconds before horrendous, and then I go and fix it. It's like I don't know if I'll ever work out of that. I don't know if I'll ever get out of that behavior. Oh wait, let me fix the God damn it. The fucking presets on the stream. Let me change this up really quick so people can actually find my fucking stream. Yeah, no, I do this through every avenue of my life. It's why I'm not, it was always an annoying thing for me in school. I'm like not, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not a bad student. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't want to work. I'm lazy. I don't want to put in the work. That's why I like, oh shit. What the hell? Sorry. My cousin, who I don't talk to enough, I love dearly, but I don't talk to enough, just texted me and asked me for my address. That's nice. I love her so much. I love hearing from her. She's such a nice young lady. Talking to my like cousins and like my nieces and nephews and shit who are like they're more like put together and successful than me and like harder working and stuff. It makes me realize the joy of children. That why people like to have kids. Cause it's like you were a fucking loser retard your whole time, but at least they're fucking killing it. I would like that. I don't know if I want to full. Well, me and the wife are starting to get older, so I don't know if oh man. God damn it. Me and the wife are a little bit older, so I don't know if why did I not turn that fucking? That's why I feel so dark in here. I didn't turn the fucking top light on. But no, I don't know if natural childbirth is in the cards. But I would like to adopt my nephew because I was talking to him recently. He's he's like 17 or 18 or something. Maybe he's 19. I don't know how old he is. He's in one of those teens right before you can drink. So like 2 or 3 before you can drink. And I was talking to him the one night. I think I was joking about it on panties, but I was talking to him the one night, and like he's not like smarter than me now or like better than me now, but he's 1,000% smarter and better than me than I was at his age. So like his trajectory, you're like, oh, you're gonna fucking be. I'm gonna be like a fucking loser begging for money from you. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit. And I'm like, that must be what's fun about having a fucking kid. He's like, I don't know. So much about having a kid seems selfish. You're like, oh, I just want a little fucking shit box that has my face. And I don't know. I always just was like, I don't know. It would be nice to like. I think maybe we'll adopt kids one day. I never got like super married to the whole like I need a fucking kid with my fucking face. You know what I mean? Shit like that. That always I don't know. From the longest time my brain was always into adoption. Cuz it just always seemed like I don't know. Especially too fucking reading about this shit, Programmed to Kill, and how many fucking of these like boys homes and shit like that are actual just a lot of these boys homes are actually just fucking fronts to face fuck these kids. You'd be like, damn, I'd be fucking, but I get worried though. I get worried that like, cuz I'm revealing the secrets of the deep state. Like I'm a hardcore deep state warrior. You guys know this about me. I'm worried that they're gonna get hip to that and not let me adopt a kid. But it'd be nice to adopt a kid and give him a better life. You know what I mean? It's like it's already a given that if I had a kid, a lot of people are scared to pass down their bullshit. There is part of that, but the older I've gotten, the more I've felt that way about stuff. But then, honestly, on its own, like I got older and I thought about that too. But then it was just from the longest time before I was even as like anxious and self-conscious as I am now, adoption always just seemed like a chiller option. But I don't know. I think people obsess too much over if they should have a kid or not. I get it. Like there's all these people who are like birth rates are down and you won't be emotionally fulfilled, but I don't know. I think there's genuinely I think more people than not should probably have a kid. More people than not should probably have a kid because I think I would probably say like 75% of the country, like you're not beating your programming. You know what I mean? There's like biological programming as humans that none of us are fucking beating. None of us. But I think on average, like 25% of us beat that. And they're the people that like, like do comedy. And it's not like a lot of oh my god, Dunbar. Yes, shout out Boys Town. And I think it's not a matter of these people are better, those people are worse. It's just like, it's almost like you're playing Marvel Rivals and it's just like, what's your play style? It's like I've seen shit with like Ari Shaffir, and he goes on big tirades about like kids suck, you shouldn't have kids. Like there's the whole thing like when Lewis's girl got pregnant with baby James. There's that whole thing where he was just like, you should abort it, blah blah blah, abort that, me, da da da, and it's like he's viewing that through his shit. You know what I mean? He's not even considering. He's not really like considering other people's perspective. But Germ, how you doing, brother? What's up, Big Germ? Isn't that character from Friday? The dude on the fucking ice cream truck. Friday, Big Germ. Oh no, Big Worm. That's right. Big Worm. This is you. This is you, dude. This is you, Big Germ. Big Germ the Worm. That's you, brother. Big Germ. Ooh, fun fart. Oh shit. Fuck. I think my cousin's getting married. I think that's why she asked for my address. Fuck. Now we have to go fly somewhere we don't have money for. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that online. I shouldn't have said that. Not mad. I love my cousin dearly. I'm very happy. She her boyfriend seems like a really nice guy. Nah, because like my cousin's like, she's not a shithead. She's like a really smart chick, and she like knows what she wants and all this and this and that. She's very smart, so I was very protective over her. My other cousins, they could date whoever the fuck they want. I don't give a shit. Those dumb bitches. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love you all dearly. Damn, she's gonna ask us to fucking fly somewhere for a fucking wedding. God damn it. Can you just Zoom your wedding? Can we just do the Zoom wedding? Jesus Christ. Yo, why is Drewski the funniest dude in the world? Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking Twitter. Adding a T to cousin cracks me up every time. Cousin? Oh, is that how I say it? Cousin? Did I say cousin? Wait, Dunbar, type out how I say it. Cousin. My fucking cousin. Oh, shit. I don't even hit the T. You know what? I was over enunciating the T after you said that, where I go, cousin? Do I say it like that? Cousin? But nah, no bullshit. It's like, dude, when I was saying it, it was like, yeah, and my cousin, I'm not even hitting it that hard, but I had the T. Dude, it's so fucking funny. I didn't even grow up in Philly. Is that a Philly thing, actually? I don't know if that's a Philly. The way I talk is like an amalgamation of, the way I talk is just like an amalgamation of like every dumb dude. Every dumb fucking dude. That hoe. Yo, Pindar. I'll find you, dude. I'll find you. Fuck you shit up, brother. Don't. Pindar? Look at me, dude. Look at me. That's your warning. Because I'm going to make that a GIF. Yeah. Pindar, you are walking the line. You are walking the line, brother. You better watch your stuff. A lot of interesting stuff to talk about today. I am curious. I saw Tim Dillon got fired from the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which actually I think is the best thing to happen to him. I don't like, so logically, I don't really judge anyone for being in the Riyadh Comedy Festival, because it's like, well, I do gotta say there is something to the fact. Well, wait, let's look it up. Let's ask Grok. By the way, what was that give? Fun wolf fact. I love you so much. There you go. That's for you guys. Fun Andy fact. I love you so much. Let's ask Grok. What was Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11? All right, here we go. Overview of Saudi Arabia's alleged involvement in 9/11. The September 11, 2001 attacks were carried out by 19 hijackers affiliated with Al Qaeda, resulting in nearly 3,000 deaths. 15 of the hijackers were Saudi nationals, and all. Which, by the way, when they say like a country and then they say nationals, that just means like legal citizen of that country, right? That's all that means, right? You know, because like there's something about the phrasing of, you know, like they'll be like Saudi national, Chinese national, and does it mean like government employee? What does national believe? Yeah, it just means you were born there or you're like a citizen there, right? Um, let's ask Grok again because I gotta be honest. This is where I like AI. What what does the term national mean in the context of something like Chinese Chinese? Oh, is that some capitalization bullshit? Yeah, Chinese national or Saudi national. In the context of phrase like Chinese national or Saudi national, the term national refers to a person who is a citizen or subject of a particular country. It denotes an individual's nationality, which is their legal affiliation with a nation state, typically based on birth, naturalization, or other legal means. For example, a Chinese national is someone who holds the citizen or legal nationality of China. A Saudi national is someone who holds the citizenship or legal nationality. Wait, the term, what does legal nationality mean? Wait, what does legal nationality mean? What the hell does think harder? Why is there a button that says think harder? Legal nationality refers to an individual's formal, legally recognized status as a citizen or subject of a specific country as defined by the country's law. It establishes a person's. Okay, so it means legal citizen. You qualify as a legal citizen of that country. That makes sense. Okay. So Republicans love money, dog. Yeah, it's so that's so like on it, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like on its face, because here's the thing. If we go, wait, what? Tim Dillon is one of my favorite streamers, favorite comedians. What does that mean? Are you talking about me? I fuck with. Actually, you know what? I was. You know when you're like you like a comic, but they're not like they're not like your top dude. You don't like consciously think about them like that or anything like that. That's how I felt about Tim Dillon until he rolled through on Optimum Noctis, and I actually saw him in person. I've seen his stand up, but excuse me. I've seen his stand up like a while ago when he had first started, and it was good, but it didn't like grab me like that. But then when I saw him the other night at Optimum Noctis, I go, yo, Tim Dillon's funny. Like, and it wasn't just like, don't get me wrong. He walked out, the crowd goes fucking insane because they're like, oh my God, Tim Dillon's here. He fucking, you know, so there was that. But then outside of the crowd just being excited he was there, absolutely fucking leveled. So like I got a whole new respect for the dude, being able to see him at Optimum Noctis, which is why you guys should go to that show. Cause even they'll have nights where it's just like, oh, this if you it's crazy. They'll have nights where it's like you'd have to pay a couple $100 for the ticket to see all these comedians. And like you just get lucky and all those dudes drop in. But even on the off nights where it's not like the fucking best of the like the famous of the most famous comedians in the world, it's still still hitting you with heat. And then I remember the last one we got lucky where Brian Simpson and I say we because Gardini's in Italy and I was helping host while Gardini was out. But yeah, it was Brian Simpson and Kevin Iso were in town. So they live in town, but they stopped in. So that was really so. I can't say enough good shit about Optimum Noctis. You're either gonna get really funny comic. Well, you're either like bare minimum. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Bare minimum, you're gonna get really funny fucking comics, and then there's a chance you're gonna get really fucking funny comics who happen to be famous people you guys admire. But yeah, Tim Dillon is the fucking man. He's very funny. What were you saying? Burnt Peanut loves Tim Dillon, but you are one of my. I was gonna say, Germ. You said my favorite streamer, and I was like, well, it's actually crazy. You're about to say anyone but me. So that caught you in some fucking bullshit, Germ. You better watch your fucking ass. Where is it? Let me pull this fucking picture up. Germ, you fucking son of a bitch. Oh my god. Wait, is he still? Wait, what is this? Is this a fake DJ Vlad video with Big Worm? So I was gonna pull up the Big Worm clip and point at you, Germ. Fucking big worm, big germ. But this is actually DJ Vlad is. I used to be like, why are people so mad at DJ Vlad? But he is a scorn. He's a stain on the hip hop community for the most part. This is really funny though. He did an interview with Big Worm. Why he sent a black van to kill Smokey and Craig.
Well, I mean, at the time when you go to pick up your money from Smokey, and he mentioned that him and Craig had smoked up some of your weed. Why did you feel that both him and Craig owed you the money together, as opposed to just Smokey?
I knew because Craig is more responsible than Smokey. Getting them both involved, and I know he, you know what I'm saying, like, get this nigga involved too, to put it. I don't want to shoot Smokey. That's the last thing you want is some, you know what I'm saying, that murder shit on your route. Because that's start looking at the Daytons, looking at the perm, you know what I'm saying, pulling over motherfuckers. Like, no. Just give me my bread, homie.
All right. Well, that's funny. That's fun. Fun stuff. Funny on paper. Execution. What are you gonna do? Did I miss any good comments? Because what were you guys saying about Republicans? Tim Dillon's one, they were framed by the you-know-who's. I believe it means they were born there. Pete Davidson doing this pretty wild. I love that Dana White is a staunch Republican, but has no problem exchanging money with the Saudis. Republicans love money, dog. Yeah, well, the problem with Republicans is, like, they like the... It's a lot of Republicans like will just do the same shit as Democrats, but like they're... What am I trying to say? It's like Republicans or Democrats with a better PR team. You know what I mean? It's like they're the same thing. It's like if they were a car and the insides and the result were going to be the same, but like the Democrats have like a shitty old bug with a million fucking stickers on it. The Republicans have like a cool, muscle car body on it or some shit. You know what I mean? So that's the fucking difference. Oh, fuck. I have a thing today that I forgot I have to do. What time is it? Okay. I'm going to have to, I have a thing in an hour that I'm going to have to hop off. I don't know if I'll wrap up. We'll see where we're at, if I want to wrap up early or not, but I will have to hop off in about an hour. That's why I'm also pissed I fucking started late. Sorry for starting so late today, guys. I don't know what the fuck happened. Did I say this earlier? I set my alarm every day for 8 a.m., 8:30, and 9. Because then 8 a.m. it wakes me up, and then I just go back to sleep. 8:30 it kind of wake, and I'm a little bit more awake. And then when 9 o'clock hits, I'm finally like, okay, I'm up. And that's how I like to get up in the morning. I don't know if that sounds like I'm a baby, but I've always been that way. Even when I had a job like even when I had a job that had to be there at like 7 a.m, I would always wake up at like 5 and I would spend the first hour doing nothing and sitting and drinking my coffee and stuff. Like I have to do that no matter what time I have to get up for something. I have to like sit there and do that. And then I just like I hit the 9 a.m. alarm hit and I said, okay. And I thought I laid down for a second. And then it must have been like 45 minutes because I like laid down, woke back up, took a shit, was reading a little bit of this book on my phone. And then I finish up my shit and I walk out and the fucking clock on the oven says 10 a.m. I was like, when the fuck did that happen? 10 a.m.? When the fuck did that happen? You know, I was like, I thought I had a fucking hour to meander. So, and then because I'm also a baby, I wanted to like, well, also too, I'm like not awake. So I have to drink a little bit of coffee before I know the stream's like a slow roll when I started and stuff, but I actually have to like drink a little coffee and wake up. And so I didn't and then me and my wife were just having a good conversation. So I started at like 11:10. And I'm pissed because I knew I had to I have this phone interview thing at fucking 12:45. I knew I had that. So that's why I wanted to make sure I definitely started at 10 today. So the fact that I didn't start at 10 today makes me sad. Anyway, Saudi Arabia's involvement. But yeah, going off this thing you were saying about Dana White is like if you look at the Republicans a lot of times, I hate how fucking washed out my face. Fuck. Sorry guys. Sorry if that was really loud. I hate how fucking washed out my pale ass face is. Sorry if that was really fucking loud. But yeah, Republicans, whatever. I'll go to the next thing. They suck ass. No, they just talk. The Republicans love talking a lot of shit, and then they just do the same thing Democrats do. Don't forget to tell your cousin I said, King Pindar, I will go to Bill Miller's, find some strips, fly to your house, and shove them up your ass. I'll kill you, dude. No, I will not literally. It's a joke. For people on YouTube, ain't no need to be sorry. We love you. Well, I love you too, Germ. It happens. I just like being it's so hard for me to like get a schedule going because I'm so spastic and all over the place with all my shit. So when I start getting one and then I lose it, I get very upset with myself. Anyway. Sorry. I just have a funny idea real quick. Hell yeah. I love being a little rascal. I love being... My favorite thing in this world is being a goddamn little rascal. People don't like when you're a little rascal. People are not a fan of you being a little rascal. You know what I mean? And that's fine. But it's like, well, you know what my thing is? And it's what I always loved about people like my parents is my parents are they're a real big proponent of like, well, it's just not for me. And I respect the hell out of that because they are not people who are down with the clown. They're not down with like clowning around like I am. So like they're not down to clown around like I am, like a big dog like me. But like they don't. There's a lot of people that just don't want to. There's a lot of people that don't like to joke around. This is my problem with people. There's a lot of people that don't like to joke around, and then they go, I don't like to joke around like that, so no one can joke around like that. That was a big thing my parents taught me. They go, if I don't like to joke around like that, I'm just not going to look. I'm not going to participate. But the people who are the problem in the world go, the people who are the problem in the world, they look around, they go, I don't like joking around like that. No one else should joke around like that. That's the people I don't get. That's the people who make you being a free, God-fearing American, you know, they make that a problem. You go, my life ain't no problem. Your perspective on my life is what's the problem. You know, learn to accept me, pussy. Anyway, overview of Saudi Arabia's alleged involvement in 9/11. Alleged. I had the same idea for that redheaded goddess. You're a crazy son of a bitch, dude. She doesn't even have red hair. September 11, 2001 attacks were carried out by 19 hijackers affiliated with Al Qaeda, resulting in nearly 3,000 deaths. 15 of the hijackers were Saudi nationals. Okay, so the vast majority of them were Saudis, and the Al Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden was a Saudi citizen, stripped of citizen in 1994. He has fueled long-standing allegations of Saudi involvement, ranging from indirect financial support through charities to direct logistical aid for hijackers. However, official U.S. investigations have consistently found no evidence of institutional involvement by the Saudi government or its senior officials in planning or funding the attacks. Saudi Arabia. So what they're saying is there's 15 hijackers from Saudi Arabia, and the people planning the attacks were also involved in Saudi Arabia to some degree, but they're saying there's no evidence linking Saudi Arabia. Institutional involvement, but that could also just be like no evidence of institutional involvement by the Saudi government or its senior officials in planning or funding the attacks. You can all right. All right, Pindar, that last one was actually crazy. Yeah, you said naked body. I'm gonna give you a quick mute. That was crazy. Yeah, you can't say that, dude. I'm not mad, bro, but you can't say that. You can't say that about my cousin. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. What do you think this is? Who do you think this is? I'm just some fucking dickhead. I'm just some fucking dickhead. I didn't threaten to murder you. It was a joke. What you're doing is not a joke. What I'm doing is a joke. Yeah, I'm not mad. You can't comment like that. That's crazy, dude. Just a quick little timeout. Saudi Arabia has repeatedly denied any role emphasizing its enmity with Al Qaeda and cooperation with the U.S. post 9/11. Allegations persist, particularly from declassified documents as a federal lawsuit by 9/11 victim families against the Saudi government. These suggest that low to mid-level Saudi officials may have provided unwitting or deliberate support to hijackers, potentially within the scope of their duties. Below is a balanced summary based on key investigations and evidence. Interesting. No evidence that the Saudi government as an institution or senior officials funded Al Qaeda or the hijackers. However, Saudi Arabia was Al Qaeda's primary funding source via private donors and charities. Wait a minute, sorry. No evidence that Saudi government as an institution or senior officials funded Al Qaeda or the hijackers. However, Saudi Arabia was Al Qaeda's primary funding source via private donors and charities. Government failed to oversee these, creating a fertile environment for extremism. 15 hijackers were Saudi. Al-Qaeda raised funds through Saudi Gulf donors and Moss. No direct link to government funding of the plot. Oh, so like it's like indirectly their fault. Okay. Potential financial Pantier wants Bob's. Can't. Wait, is this Pindar? Is this your YouTube account? I'm not mad, brother. You just need to be put in timeout for a second. I get it. I'm not mad. Potential financial logistical support from individuals connected to Saudi officials, but no proof of official government complicity, raise suspicion, but lack conclusive evidence. Yeah, it feels like the same way that like Israel actually funded Hamas. So it's like you could say they didn't plan October 7th, but they kind of helped it happen. Hijackers received. This is my YouTube account. What happened? Oh no, Pindar was just, I brought up something about my cousin, and then he was getting a little fresh with the joke, so I just had to put him in timeout. No big deal, no biggie. I just had to. he just went a little. And I said, joking about the. Oh. Oh, I didn't realize you were joking. Well, that makes it better. This will get hijackers receive aid from Saudi Omar al-Bayami. Phone records and contracts with embassy figures. Circumstantial evidence of a Saudi support network for 2 hijackers in California involving officials from the Ministry of Islamic Affairs. No direct government ties to the plot, but intelligence agents, phone calls, witness statements showing prearranged meetings. Okay, judge ruled evidence sufficient for trial inferring deliberate aid by officials like. Okay, so focus has centered on the first 2 hijackers to arrive in U.S. Evidence suggests assistance in housing, finances, and integration upon their January 2000 arrival in Los Angeles. Saudi living Omar al-Bayami, a Saudi living in San Diego, employed by a Saudi aviation firm, but suspected of intelligence work. FBI confirmed in 2017 he met the hijackers at a restaurant, initially called chance by the 9/11 Commission, but later evidence suggested pre-planned, provided apartment help, bank accounts, and introduced them to local Muslims. Post 9/11 searches found his address book with Saudi official numbers. Excuse me. And that wasn't a full burp I thought it was going to be. In a video of DC landmark, a notepad with plane descent calculations was also seized. Well, that's weird. Fahad al-Tumari, Saudi diplomat and imam at the King Fahd Mosque in Los Angeles, Ministry of Islamic Affairs allegedly tasked a contact to aid the hijackers. Phone records linked him to Bayumi and al-Qaeda figures. The 9/11 Commission found no credible evidence of his involvement, but later FBI reports cite witness testimony of his role in a support cell. Broader network declassified FBI files described a coordinated effort by Ministry of Islamic Affairs officials to provide apartment, money, English lessons, and flight school. Contacts include Saudi embassy in Washington, figures like Mossad Ahmed al-Jarrah, mid-level diplomats. Some aid came from charities like Haramain, which the U.S. later designated terrorist link. Critics include former FBI agent argue the CIA and FBI downplayed evidence to protect U.S.-Saudi relationships. Didn't they also fly a shit, like right after 9/11 happened, didn't they fly a shit ton of Saudi people out of the country? The 9/11 Commission staff investigated these leads but concluded they were circumstantial. Victims' families via groups like 9/11 Families United called to support, knowing, and demand accountability. Saudi Arabian denial in U.S.-Saudi relations. Saudi Arabia maintains no evidence has ever emerged to indicate that the Saudi government or its officials had previous knowledge of terrorist attacks or were in any way involved. It highlights post 9/11 crackdowns of al-Qaeda and cooperation included dissolving charities like Haramain. The U.S. has cited these in alliances, but tensions persist, e.g. the 2016 Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorist Act allowed the lawsuit despite sovereign immunity concerns. As of September 2025, the federal case heads to trial, potentially revealing via more discovery, which no smoking gun proves high-level operations. The evidence. Okay. So it looks like if I'm reading this the right way, it looks like their involvement was like, we help fund a bunch of this shit, and you know, it's the same way as like they used U.S. taxpayer funds in the Wuhan lab. It's not like the government directly went like, yes, send this to Wuhan and do this and that, but it was like, our money is the money that eventually got to Wuhan. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that. It feels like if I'm interpreting this in the most positive light, if I'm to, sorry. Okay, sorry about that scheduling thing. Yeah, it sounds like it's almost a la like Wuhan, where it's like our money. They didn't say this money is to, send to Wuhan to test bats and start COVID or whatever the fuck happened over there. It sounds like the Saudi money. It sounds like the Saudis were funding shit, and then these particular like, I feel like our government does it all the time. Well, it's like with the USAID stuff. With the USAID stuff, that was a bunch of shit where it was like, cut to the chase is Tucker's. I don't like your aggressive nature, Slav. Cut to the chase. You're so cringe, dude. I was telling my wife that last night. I was like, yo, I don't care what you do, how you do it. Just don't be so fucking cringe about shit. Pindar is back in the mix. What's up, brother? What's up, you hot tamale? I do like Tucker's actually, this is reminding me, I do like Tucker's roundabout way of like clearly blaming the Jews. It's very funny. He's very smart about how he does it, because everyone always goes like, Tucker is the man at, you know what you're doing, brother. You know what you do. Where the fuck is it? I'm trying to find it. Yeah. Tucker's hilarious.
He was a Christian evangelist, and a favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the people, and they hate it. And they just go bonkers. They hate it. And they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about, what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everything is inverted.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, like at this point, Tucker's like the master at he's the master at like saying shit without like directly saying shit. He's the master at like it's very obvious what he's saying, but he's not he has he's the master at plausible deniability. Maybe that's his training as his dad was a CIA agent. Maybe that was his dad training him properly. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, I mean, I gotta be, and I'm a fan of Tucker's. I'm not like, you know, it is just funny how he's like, well, I don't know if he's blaming the Jews specifically, but it's like he's definitely blaming Israel, or it feels like it at least. But I don't know. I don't want to infer too much from that, but yeah, I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know you were the don't joke that way person, though. You thought you were cool. That's so funny. That's so funny. You're gonna use fucking high school tactics. Oh, I thought you were cool. I'm like, that's you're right. I take it all back. Nah, don't get butthurt. I told you I wasn't mad at you. I just, sometimes you act a little fresh and I gotta put people in timeout for a minute. But I'm not mad at you, King Pindar. You don't gotta get butthurt. I still love you. Still love you deeply. Sorry, I'm freeing up my dude. I think a new hot ass AOC picture just dropped. Actually, she's got there's some picture where a little bit of side titty was popping out. This is yeah, dude. New AOC picture just dropped. So if you guys want to what is this? Red's Rants is brought to you by honkies like you. Is that what this is? Red's Rants? Yeah. I don't know what this is from, but it's so funny. Could you imagine interviewing AOC dressed like this and one of those just falls out the side? Wait, you can see areolas? Yeah, that's crazy. Why are they calling her? Dude, that's so funny. All the gay guys are revealing themselves. So funny. Shit like that. This is like the most revealing gay guy bitchy shit ever. Where what's the caption? AOC ain't looking too thin nowadays. I mean, she's still gorgeous. Are you a homosexual man? Torta, yeah, dude, torta it up. She's not even a torta. It's fucking psychotic. Like that's the other thing too. That's why wait, what did I tweet? Show me the best political deep fakes. Me too. AOC and Laura Boebert specific. Dude, I love being ain't nothing better in this world than being publicly horny. No, it's actually like don't do that. Yeah, I mean these guys are just so homosexual. There's nothing wrong with being gay. Just like it's the thing I always talk about. It's the thing I always talk about where it's like, what the fuck am I trying to say? It's the thing I always talk about where it's like it's the dudes trying to be like, yo, I'm a manly man, badass, da da da. It's like, brother, if you're gay, be gay. I'm not mad about it. Just like don't tell me you're not gay and then I'm a manly man badass and then it's like you show me this. You show me that? That's what's wrong with conservatives. You don't like that? You want me to get behind your movement and you're telling me What does Alex Stein say? A thick Latino mommy, a big booty Latino like AOC, as Alex Stein would say. I mean, you're telling me that's not the shit? What are we doing? It's got to be dude. It has to be a psyop. It has to be a psyop. Yeah, this guy, Jesse Kelly, conservative commentator. It breaks my heart to see what happened to this, by the way, too, is why the conservatives are like it's what annoys me. It's why dudes like Matt Walsh always annoy me. And I don't know a lot about this. I know the only thing I know about Jesse Kelly is Dave got interviewed by him one time. It's the only time I ever listened to Jesse Kelly, because you guys know me, big Dave Smith fan. Dave did an interview with him. It's the only reason I'm aware of who Jesse Kelly is. And but yeah, he gave me that impression. Same vibe as a Matt Walsh dude. Okay, almost has 1 million followers, big conservative guy. Doing all this shit. And like Matt Walsh was doing the same thing when like Dylan Mulvaney, and it's reasonable. It's reasonable when Dylan, when the Dylan Mulvaney thing happened, it's like, hey man, can we not it's reasonable to be like, hey man, can we not use the trans people and especially like some of the shit that like, because it's not, the trans ideology is already doing wacky shit with kids' heads. Let's not. I get people being annoyed by it. It didn't like drive me fucking nuts, but I get people being annoyed by it. But like, it's one thing to be like, hey man, this trans shit, it's not good for kids. They're getting the wrong idea about this stuff. Not that the trans shit's not good for kids, but sort of like the trans, it's really like the fucking, whatever the cause is. You know what I mean? Like when it was like Black Lives Matter, everyone can get behind that. Black Lives Matter. Everyone's like, that's a good vibe. That's a good vibe. Black Lives Matter. We can all agree with that. I'm sure Slav's disagreeing in the comments, but you know what I'm saying? But then once you start getting like, it's all the fucking Marxist and commies and white women around it that want to feel like special, big, super duper special people who are saving the world. That's when everything gets gay and retarded. So there's like that, all the white women and commies in Black Lives Matter is what made things about it retarded. And it's the same thing with like the trans stuff. It's like trans should, like the trans shit, if the trans ideology was under free market conditions, it would just be like, yeah, it's a handful of people that, it's like we could all I don't know. I hate talking like this because it sounds mean, but it's like, but it's clearly a mental thing. But if that's who you are, that's who you are, and like vibe out on it. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's like when I have anxiety, it's a mental thing. Your trans stuff's a mental thing. But like, I accept who I am, and I figure out how to function in society normally. And like we do that with the trans shit. So, but like a regular trans person is just like low key and is just trying to like fit into normal society. Looks pretty fucking feminine most of the time. It's all the like extra shit where like whenever you like, I would like the problem with the trans stuff is there's 1 million trans people that are like the swimmer or the fucking GameStop guy who it's like, oh, that guy clearly has like some weird fetish, because it's like a real trans person, when they get mad, they don't just go, all right, buddy, let's like, no, they fucking like, they think they're a woman. So they're going to act like a woman the whole fucking time. They're not going to get mad at a GameStop and go like, I'll meet you outside right now, dude. You and me, buddy. We'll go man to man. We'll fuck each other up. Like they don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that shit. But sorry, I got sidetracked on the trans stuff because I don't know. I'm not like, I don't give a fuck. I want people to vibe out and do what makes them happy. I just think sometimes the trans activists are the ones that make it a problem. And that's when I got to go like, well, no, respectfully, you're not right about that. So let's cool the jets. But anyway, the reason I got off on the trans thing is like, it's one thing, you're in your right. Bud Light hires Dylan Mulvaney. You're in your right to be like, this is fucking gay and retarded, as Dylan Mulvaney kind of is. You're in your right to be like, this is gay and retarded. And then, fuck it. But then I remember a dude like Matt Walsh, he takes and he's like, he's fucking ugly. And you're like, oh, you guys are just like bitchy girls at the end of the day. Because if it was just about the argument, you keep it to the argument. You talk about how it's like, you guys would talk about how it's a mental disorder or whatever. It's some Marxist shit. But then you also have to be like bitchy girls and go, also, she's fucking ugly. And you're like, you guys are gay. And it's like the same thing with this. So, yeah, all that had a point. It's the same thing with this where it's like, so we have this clip.
Were ignorant.
It's like you have this clip that is a slam dunk shitting on her. Even the gay ass and wokeness account keeping it strictly business. AOC smearing Charlie Kirk on the floor of the house. You have this clip where it's like slam dunk, strictly business. I even watched this clip. I'm sure she's going to come off as a dumb bitch.
His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans, far from the working tirelessly to promote unity, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution.
Yeah, so that's immediate. That's like what? This was posted September 17th or 19th. Jesus Christ. This was posted 19th. So this is like, I don't know if that was the day of, but yeah, it's about a week plus after Charlie Kirk dies. She says it this way, which it's one thing if you disagree with Charlie Kirk, but even if you disagree with Charlie Kirk, the shit she's saying is just not, it's mischaracterizing this whole thing. So like I said, all due respect, AOC, being a dumb bitch, you got it right there. And then you see these dudes posting. It breaks my heart to see what happened to AOC. She got fat and now she's wearing baggy clothes, ran into a wall she couldn't get over. Sucks. So like, and it's like, I'm not going to cry that people are being mean to AOC. I think Slav had a comment before where she's just like a fucking fraud or a liar or a fucking dumb bitch extraordinaire. You said something about it earlier. What did you say earlier? Whatever you were saying earlier. Whatever. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I turned off the comments because I was realizing I let the comments distract me too much when I'm in the middle of a thing. Yes, this is where I was. I love tortas. But yeah, no, it's like AOC. I don't know. It's just it all goes back to the thing that drives me nuts with like these like AOC like them calling AOC fat is like fine, call her fat, but like I look at you like a little girl now because you're behaving like mean girls. You know what I'm saying? You're behaving like mean girls. This is an interesting comment. Nah, the whole God, I hit a nah. You want me to not listen to any of your sentences? Started off with a nah. The whole live and let live mentality is a slippery slope that got the world where it is. We should have never let these. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Nah, you know what it is? It's well, no, you should do live and let live. It's just we need to stop. It's like the thing with baking the gay cake or baking the cake, baking the gay marriage cake. It's like now I don't know why we need to involve the government in marriage. Seems like a weird one. It doesn't really make sense to me. But if it's gonna be like a whole legal thing, like I think gays should get married. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? Under the law, gays should have all the same rights as we do. All of us non-AIDS riddled butt monkeys, like how Slav puts it, you fucking psycho. Yeah, we should have all the same rights. We should have all the same right, or they should have all. As a gay man, I should have the same rights as you straights. No, but then when it is like a thing, the problem is, you know what it is? They use the whole, and they because it's kind of wearing off now. this whole like you can't. I've noticed it especially with white people because that was the ones it worked on. The whole like you're racist, you're homophobic, you're anti-Semitic. That's what's going on. Like that's why everything seems crazier right now. Is because they like all these, and it's similar when I talk about the trans thing. I'm not talking about regular trans people. I've met many regular trans people. They're chill. Like that's the thing. People, when we talk about it in this like political context, when we talk about it in this like political newsy headliney context, you're getting the worst of the. It's like if Al Sharpton and Jesse Jack, or no, who's the dude? Who's the dude in the OJ trial? Who's OJ's lawyer? OJ's lawyer. Johnny Cochran. Yeah, it's like if Al Sharpton and Johnny Cochran were your representation on who black people were. You wouldn't think that highly of them. You know what I mean? And it's like if trans activists are your reference point for trans people, and most of these groups, they get like the shitty representation always leads its way back to, and I say this as a dude who's a big lover of white women, but there's not a big a small minority of white women are the problem. I will say that. But as a guy who's got a beautiful white lady over there, was raised by a cool ass white lady, I'm not shitting on white ladies. I'm just saying the problems always come back to white ladies and commies. White ladies, commies, and Marxists. It's always the problem. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to Black Lives Matter, where did the problem? I know Lou had a I saw Lou had a comment earlier. Lou had a comment earlier. Wait, what? Crazy thumbnails, all giant. What are you talking about, Jake? I know your dad's trans. That's why you're trans. All giant yellow impact text. Oh, the Jimmy Dore ones. Yeah. What was I saying though? The fucking dude, I gotta be honest. People, you know what? Everyone was always giving me shit for like not staying focused. It's because I was trying to like read the chat the whole time. Ignoring the chat, it's so easy to stay focused if I ignore the chat and then hop in and out occasionally. Yeah, I don't know. I've had a breakthrough. I don't need to, like, when we were talking the other day and I was realizing what was wrong with me and why I'm crazy. I'm like, oh, you don't need to address every single little thing. And I'm like, wait, I don't need to read every comment Slav leaves. Oh, I don't have to do that. Now, hopefully you guys don't hate me because if I start reading the chat less, I know it is kind of funny. Sorry, I just get too intrigued with human behavior because where's King Pindar? It's so funny. I told him to please stop commenting on my cousin in the way he was commenting, and he has not. And then I put him in timeout because he wouldn't stop. And now he hasn't commented in about 15-20 minutes, which leads me to wonder if he's legitimately upset, which is very interesting. Very interesting. And I know I should not address this because I'm probably going to create more of a problem than it's probably going to create more of a problem than it would have. But all right. Yeah. It is making it is. I should not have brought this back up, but it is a funny thing about, I don't know. I get more fascinated with human behavior than anything else. I'm not shitting on anyone. I love everyone deeply. It is because I get why the jokes are made. That's why I'm trying to learn to not get triggered over things. That's why the jokes are made. That's why we're calling, like I was talking about to my wife before. That's why we call Nate Zesty. No one thinks Nate's gay. It's just too funny to watch you get mad about it. So it's like, I know it's going to make the jokes. I will say this though, if Pindar is actually mad, it is a fascinating thing where it's like, oh, I can't say overly sexual things about your cousin in the chat. Well, I'm just going to take my ball and go home. Very fascinating thing, but I love Pindar deeply. I hope he doesn't get upset over the very reasonable request I had for him. I hope it doesn't upset him. He's contemplating his I hope he's sitting there worried that he upset me and he's spiraling and he's about to go fucking nuts. That I do hope. I think Nate's gay, JK. Well, it's because he is gay. I'm gonna take my ball and go home. Now it is kind of fun. No, I think about this. I think about stuff like this a lot when because I've said it before, and maybe it's like me maybe I just need to accept human behavior and just it's like there's right, there's wrong, and then there's just what's gonna happen right now in the way society is. And it's like, we were talking about it in debate. And it's like, yeah, if someone is being disingenuous and you spaz on them, are you really in the wrong? It's like they were the one acting up and being a fucking cunt and doing this and that. But if people are going to perceive you a certain type of way, they're going to perceive you a certain type of way. So it's like, it's that thing where it's like, what do you do? What do you do? So it is like, that's why earlier, Pindar, that's the thing with me, by the way. I'll always make this clear. I love everyone. I love everyone deeply. It's just stop doing it'll be like, oh, you're just doing that thing you shouldn't be doing. Stop doing that thing. And then once you stop doing that thing, I'll go back to loving you the most I've ever loved you. So it was almost just like with the Pindar thing, there is this and this is just me autistically analyzing human interaction because I don't know if I fully understand it. The red coat Yema's comments still linger. What does that mean? I forget that one. But no, it's like that's the funny part with the Pindar thing. If he is actually mad, he's probably not actually mad. It is funny where it is like, so because of these things with podcasting and the internet and YouTube and shit, because I said that, now I'm worried, oh, did I set a precedent of people are going to make these jokes? Now I'm worried. In the moment, I do a cost. You guys don't realize that, by the way, when you stream like this, because it's like going out live. There will be these little moments. There'll be these little see, I'm all like, this is why I'm worried about talking about it, because now the jokes are coming. The jokes are coming. They're my hot cousins, guys. Stop. The jokes are coming. So that's what I'm worried about. But I do love analyzing it. But it's this. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is there's this weird calculation you do where, do I let this happen so a bigger catastrophe doesn't happen? And that's like the weird thing then. So now you're sitting here going like, okay, so you do the cost effect analysis, whatever the fuck it is. You do that analysis in your head and you go like, so yes, I am going to just smile when he makes a joke about my cousin's naked body. And I'm just like, that's why all this shit's fucking retarded. That's why all this shit is so fucking stupid. And while I love it, I'm like, this is bad that I'm doing this. I should just get a warehouse job and operate a forklift and go find a retarded coworker that we both exchange racial jokes to one another. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird thing. See, this cost benefit analysis, I am dumb. This is the type of joking around that I appreciate. It's that walk in the line where you don't, because that is also the other thing too. People who don't podcast are like, well, there's video footage there's potential. It's like, what's more detrimental? Do I have this video footage of me getting bitched up, Or do I have video footage of me maybe spazzing a little but like standing on business? That's why obviously podcasting is better than a regular job. Obviously. I'm not going to act like, I'm not going to be Hassan Piker and go like, it's actually hard. But there are times where I go, man, I love podcasting so much. Yeah. Hot cousins are like this is why it's just beneficial to stop giving a shit. The only thing I think about is like, I do have some family members are supportive. So like, I would make every joke under the sun, but it's like, I think about family members that would get upset. That's the only time I get fucking gay about shit. It's not like, but yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. We all got hot. Yeah. It's like hot. We all have hot cousins. But it's like, it's like when, God damn it. I just think about my cousins watching this, not getting the joke. And now I'm just their creepy cousin. And I'm like, no, it's a fucking joke. It's a joke. You need to understand my level. But yes, the joke I was gonna make, it's like when you have a retarded friend. You're like, I call him retarded. Anyway, yeah, so yep, I can't just have a thought and let it go. I have to overanalyze it. So now this will establish itself as a thing, and I'll regret it every single fucking day. And streaming will get a tiny bit less fun now. Because I can't just let things go. I can't help myself. Oh, was that a little thing that everyone was going to forget? Was that a little thing that everyone was going to forget? Don't worry. You're digging a hole, brother. I know. It's why I hate myself. No, that's just I find the whole thing of podcasting fascinating. But anyway, this is why you guys all owe me money, by the way. This is why it's like you all owe me $10. You understand that right now. Everyone in here owes me $10. Like, this shit I have to deal with. You know what fucks me up too? I'm being funny half the time, and I feel like everyone takes me seriously because no one respects me and they all think I'm retarded. Where is it? There we go. You all owe me $20. What did I say? No, I said 10 earlier. You all owe me $10. You understand this, right? Like, what's happening here? I'm a victim. I just realized something. You probably wore the clothing brand Big Dog as a kid. Is that a dig? Is that a dig? Who didn't? Why wouldn't I? What's that supposed to mean? What's outrageous? Me and my guy cousins joke about how handsome we all are as family. It's okay to be gay with your guy cousins, but it isn't okay to be straight with your girl cousins. Yeah. This is outrageous. I'm only here to help. Well, no, I'm saying this is I get put through a lot to not get paid for this, guys. You all owe me $10. You all owe me $10 for what you're putting me through. Venmo at Andrew Malafrina. Oh, it's the fucking Wrangler. No, you just reminded me of people. God, I really do make it easy to fuck with me. Why do I do that? I'm like thinking about it more and more now. Cause like, no, I had one of these moments. I was doing so good earlier, and then I just decided, I was like, what if I just address the whole thing? Why do I make it so easy to fuck with me? I don't know what that is. What that is. Andy with tits. A thick, long-haired, hot Andy. Okay, I like this. I like this. If you guys are picturing my cousin as just a hot me, so you guys can have a workaround to like eat my ass, that I like. No, the comment earlier, Lou, where you were like, because people have done that, where you're like, people are like, you do that, and you're like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But anyway, we all had fun. We all had fun today. God. This did make me laugh, Lou. Do you think your cousin would give me the same wonderful parasocial? That's a smart joke. I really appreciate that joke. Oh yeah, I was talking about the shit earlier. Andy, if Andy was filled in the right places, Andy, don't move. I'm almost done. Hell yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize everyone was gay. Now you guys are just doing gay guy bitchy jokes. I'm sorry. I took it all the wrong way. You guys are all gay. Everyone's jerking off to my picture. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I took everything the wrong way. I didn't realize you were all actively jacking it to me. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I was on to something before I crumbled emotionally. Yeah. You know what it is? I just got to learn to, I don't know. I get mad at like, no, it's this like weird thing. It's this weird thing that happens when you like spend your whole life really, really learning how to like be the funniest guy. And like, I'm saying like me actively learning how to like what do all the funniest people do? And then I internalize that and I try to use it for my thing. And then I don't know, this is going to come off as pretentious. Now, you know what it is? Let me put it this way. It's just the way I joke around, the way I joke around with the way I am. I think people just assume I'm retarded. And it really makes things, because it's happened to me before, it makes things that should be obvious jokes just go as dumb statements. I've had many a time where I've like made a joke and then I just get shit on because it's like, no, that's like a real statement. And it's because I am perceived as a big, dumb, fat retard, which I deserve at times, but it does get exhausting. It does get exhausting because it's like, it all goes back to this. I made this post one time on my Facebook where I go, you know, and maybe I overthink this shit, but I probably do. I overthink everything. But I made this post one time when like posting on Facebook was way more normal. Posting on Facebook was way more normal. And I made this post. I was like, you guys ever notice how all cats are girls and all dogs are boys? And like a lot of people got the joke. But like a lot of like a couple people were like responded in a way where they're like, Andy, you know that's not true. And I go, do you hate me? Do you think I meant that? You know, and it's like, I gotta be honest, I think it might have fucked with me a little bit. I think it like because I still think about it to this day, and I probably, you know what it is, I probably internalize it way too much. But I still think about it to this day. Where it's like, you know, and it's like, I think it goes back to that cost benefit analysis because it almost has to be like, you know, you almost have to be like, well, fuck it. If people, but then, you know, I'm in comedy. If the wrong person, if the wrong, like it can happen in comedy, or God forbid I get popular and one of the video essayists, you know, like there was that interaction Shane had with Andrew Schultz on what's Schultz's podcast? Flagrant. There's that one video. I think about that one too. Cause like Schultz and Shane are fucking cool as shit. Like they work together all the time. He has them on tires and all this other shit. Like they're good friends. But it's just like they have one podcast where they bust each other's balls like comedians, and they have to have like a million people have to edit it together. They have to edit it together and be like, oh, they're fucking feuding and this and that. And now, boom, immediately people are just, because someone was fucking dumb, now there's just like the whole wrong perception of them. And now they have to deal with, now Shane and Schultz are doing fine. Maybe that's not the best example, but even like the Austin video we watched yesterday, it's like, dude, I haven't watched one Austin video. I haven't watched one criticism, and there's there's things to criticize Austin about. I haven't watched one Austin criticism video that has like a proper understanding of what's going on there, of what's going on here where I live in Austin, Texas. So, and then it's just like, you know, I think about that too, where, you know, oh, is the podcast hurting because there's a bunch of people, because it's like we're associated with Austin. Now there's a bunch of people who just have the wrong idea about Austin because of a couple video essayists on YouTube are just like da 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 da. And then it's like, the more I think about it, the more I go, oh, you just don't have to give a shit. You just have to stop giving a shit. But yeah, I do get worried about you guys thinking I'm a fucking dickhead because I like you guys. That is why I might spaz a little more on you guys. I do fuck with you guys. Cause it's like I also get worried too. Like, and I don't think I'm a fucking I don't think I'm gay enough to get this treatment, but you ever see that shit with like Destiny, or like sometimes when you watch Hassan's streams, it's just people that hate him. And I think like now I'm at a smaller level. So like, you know, it's like I pop on here every day and I go, oh, it's my bros. You know what I mean? I don't know. Am I being gay? I am kind of gay. So I think that should be another thing. It's like I'm pretty gay about stuff because I'm kind of like a schmaltzy in my, like, you know, I like having I know you're not supposed to have emotions as a comic. I know that's like a really bad thing to do as a comic, is have emotions. I know that's a really bad thing to do, but I don't know. I like being kind of like I like rom-coms and shit. I like being kind of a gay guy. I like that. I like being a gay guy. I just hate you know what it is? I got a big red wop fetish. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I don't know. You know what it is? I spend too much time wanting to be understood. That's a big problem of mine. Yeah, pick your battles. But that was going back to earlier. It is just like, thank you. This is what I need. Thank you. If you're in here to hate on Big Red, fuck you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what it is? I get too caught up in other people's bullshit. We're here because you make us laugh, dog. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is coming off the wrong way. I was just going on a stream of consciousness and shit like that. No, because it is like, I don't know. People don't get it. It's hard to like. First special name is a little gay. Hell yeah. Now you know what it is. I realize I'm a very paranoid guy from time to time. So it's why, like, in some of these moments, I'll be afraid that the chat will turn on me or something. Cause like that's when I first started comedy, is when cancel culture really became cancel culture has always been a thing. But when I first started comedy, that's when cancel culture became like a regular thing. Like a regular thing that people they figured out, how do we use this specifically to fuck people? that's what I realized with, and then that's when I started comedy, and I was like younger, not as mature, so that stuff scared the shit out of me. And I noticed I still have, because I was talking about it before. This is why it's like I always do better when I be myself. I always do better. Get you a cup of chamomile tea, my G. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I don't know what that means, but I will do that. That's a big problem of mine, because like right when I started comedy is when the cancel culture shit started to get popular. So it always like scared the fuck out of me. I remember being younger and less mature. It always scared the fuck out of me. And it's like the longer I've done comedy, the more the better, the more better shit. the more better shit happens when I'm just being myself and I'm doing my thing. But yeah, I am realizing, I am realizing like growing up, like starting comedy in that cancel culture shit really affected me. Really affected me. And I still like feel it in the back of my head, because it's like, dude, the progression was crazy. Start doing comedy. And by the way, cancel culture is canceled. Hell yeah. What do you got, Matt? Oh, by the way, guys, I got to take that call in about 10 minutes or so. So I think I'm cooking. We're having fun. So I don't think I'm going to stop, but I'll throw up a video. I'll throw up a podcast while I take the call, and then I'll be back after that. Ain't nothing wrong with being in touch with your emotions, brother. You're the gayest, and we like you for it. Don't put wieners in your mouth on stream, though, and don't watch Jimmy Kimmel or videos. Well, I might watch. I already watched Jimmy Kimmel yesterday. Cancel culture is not canceled. Well, so here's the thing about cancel culture. It's just different now, because back in the day, like when I was younger, like when I first started doing stand up, if someone like Shane got canceled from SNL, his like career, like he'd be fine because he's funny. Like Shane's really funny, obviously, we all know that. So like even when I started, if Shane would have like right when like Daniel Tosh started to get canceled and things like that, when I started to when it was the first level of canceling, when podcasting wasn't as big as it is now, it was like, there were less options when you got canceled. Now you can still get canceled. You know what I mean? Like you can get it's just there's some people making more money on their podcast than they are on cable. But it's like you can get canceled from your Comedy Central show. It's just, okay, now go make more money doing a podcast and doing stuff on the internet. So that's the thing. You can still get canceled. It's just the world's in a different place. So what they're taking away from you is different. That's where it's like, it's just changed. You know what I mean? But yeah, what was I saying before? Yeah, no, because it's like, dude, thinking about it, and I am realizing, because there's a lot of things I do, especially with being like paranoid and like worried about people fucking hating me, and like being worried about just being myself, even embarrassingly enough at 35. It's because like you gotta like I haven't really thought about this in a while, but like you gotta think about like how I like the time period I started. So like the time period I started, I was in college. So it would have been, when did I graduate college? 2012? Yeah, 2012. So I started like the end of 2011. Yeah. I started doing stand up the end of 2011. That's when Daniel Tosh rape joke controversy. When did that happen? When Daniel Tosh's most offensive joke was front page news, Louis C.K. hijacked the Daily Show to talk about it. Yeah. When did the Daniel Tosh thing happen? Yeah, dude, literally. Oh my God. Considering the scandals that would upend the comedy world toward the end of the decade, the drama surrounding Daniel Tosh's biggest controversy to date seemed quaint in retrospect. During a stand-up set at Laugh Factory in LA in July 2012. So like that, and that shit was like crazy when it happened. So like literally, I started doing stand-up. The Tosh thing happens a little less than a year into me starting doing stand-up. Because I think I started doing stand-up in, or was it 20? I think I started in 2012, actually, now that I think about it. No, because I graduated. So I think I started in 2011. Because I know I started like the end of the year. Because that's right. I was like November or December in 2011. So I started then. So then like Tosh happens about 7 or 8 months later. So like not even a year into doing stand-up. It's like, yo, by the way, and I'm a guy who my favorite comedians are Doug Stanhope, Jim Jeffries. I still fuck with Jim Jeffries. I just don't fuck with him the same way as much. But like at the time, I mean, I love Jim. Actually, shout out Jim Jeffries. I disagree with him on a lot of political shit. Dude still makes me laugh. Even when I'm listening to a joke where I'm like, that's just not right. Still makes me fucking laugh. So props to Jim Jeffries on that. But I do want to watch his last special. I haven't watched it yet. But no, so I'm obsessed with like Doug Stanhope, Jim Jeffries, dudes like that. And so I'm saying like the most fucked up shit. Like I'll be straight up too. I'm obsessed with the idea. Like I'm obsessed with like how can I get away with saying the most fucked up shit? Like I'm trying to figure out, can I do an N-word joke? Like things like that. Like 2012 comedy. 2012 white boy comedy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like that. Less than a year into doing, and like that's what I'm into. Less than a year into doing stand-up. They're like, oh, by the way, if you make jokes like this, the kind of jokes you like to making. Also, I'm definitely obsessed with Daniel Tosh at the time. Now that I think about it, definitely obsessed with Daniel Tosh, and I'm basically being told like, Andy, these type of jokes you like to do will ruin any potential you have at a comedy career. Because it's like, if that's like Daniel Tosh, he's not getting taken down, but he's getting fucked with. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. So that I have in the back of my mind. And I'm like a young 20-year-old. I'm fucking immature. I don't have the kind of backbone I have now, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I grew up in a fucking go along to get along vibe. You know, all respect to everyone who raised me, but like I grew up with a go along to get along mindset. So like I see that kind of shit. That scares the fuck out of me. It's like, and I will say this, because I think I shit on myself a little too much. I was still being myself the whole time, but I was just like stressed the fuck out. And there were certain times where it's like, I've never lied about anything. Did I kind of like bob and weave to make it a little more palatable? Maybe. But then, so that happens. I get a little bit scared about shit like that. And then I start finding out about like libertarian politics and shit like that. And so my whole political worldview changes. And at first it was fine. Like I would say my thing, people would disagree with me, but like there was no hatred. But then 2016 happens, or I guess technically 2015 when Trump comes down the escalator. Trump's now in office. The whole political discord has shifted because in my conspiracy brain, I think the fucking, whoever it is, the CIA, the deep state was like, let's promote shit so these people start fighting more about this bullshit. Now Trump's elected. I'm a guy who I never voted for Trump. I never liked Trump, but I don't shit on him nearly the same way everyone else does. Now and like that gets you, people forget, like that shit would get you fucking looked at a certain type of way. Like people were fucking crazy then, man, with the Trump shit. Like I remember one of my friends who I had never talked about politics before ever. We were hanging out at my buddy's house. Never talked to politics with this dude ever ever. I'm at his house. I'm at his house. We're talking shit. Someone brings up Trump. They say Trump did A, B, and C. I'm over here like, yo, actually, it was D, E, and F. And then don't even listen to what I had to say. Just sees that I'm not going on board with the Trump shit. And then just rather than just realizing I'm just correcting them, they're like, my buddy turns to me and goes, "Are you a Trump fan?" You know, just completely like disregarding what the fuck had just happened. You know what I mean? And so like it's like that's a close friend who did, like a very close friend who did that to me. And it's like I would get these vibes from people. Like I would get into crazy arguments with my brother. I'd gotten into crazy arguments with my dad. Like people were fucking weird when Trump got elected because they got the Trump derangement syndrome. They got their like minds flipped because they got tricked into thinking like anyone who didn't say anything bad about Trump. That's what also gets me a little fucking uptight now. When there are, and I try to like not think about it, but there are certain people now who, you know, I was like, dude, I still, you know, it's like, I still love you deeply, but you kind of were fucked up you were kind of fucked up to me during the Trump shit. And I would appreciate an acknowledgement of it, but it is what it is. And then, so I should be getting this call in a second, guys. So pardon me if I hop off. I should be getting a call in a second. But yeah, and then, you know, basically what I said about the Trump shit, you know, I'm a guy who doesn't get on board with the Trump bullshit narratives, even though I dislike Trump the whole time. You know, that feeling of like how you would be, because it's easy to go, like, here's the thing. Like I said before, I've never been one to, I'm not going to lie ever. But I got to be honest, there's certain environments where you realize you're like, "Oh, I don't have the right opinion." It's stressful, man. It's stressful. I'll never lie once. I'll never lie. I don't know. I think the worst I've ever done is where you catch yourself almost lying or fibbing to yourself because you know the social cost of it. Okay, guys, I got this call. I'm going to throw on a video. I'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes. All right. Love you guys.
Closer to the shore, but coming under increasing attacks from swarms of drones in the Mediterranean. And meanwhile, starting to get backup from European powers, including Italy, which has said it is sending a naval ship to assist the flotilla, as well as Spain, which has said it also plans to intervene. There's some suggestions from Ireland that they may also get involved. So joining us now is my colleague over at Dropsite News, Alex Colston, from the Sirius is the ship you're still on. Is that right, Alex?
That's right. It's called the Sirius Haifa because the boats are also named after Palestinian towns.
Got it. So, and we apologize if any viewers get seasick from watching you kind of float up and down, but I imagine the seasickness is much worse among your crew. So I hope folks can just bear with us for the moment. So 2 nights ago, we saw the most serious attack yet on the flotilla, which footage of which we just showed. Can you talk a little bit about what you know at this point about what kind of attacks there were and what kind of damage there was.
Definitely. There were at least 12 attacks across 9 boats. One boat was attacked twice with flashbangs. I think about 4 were also attacked with flashbangs. One had a chemical capsule fall to the deck, spray a member of the crew, and then it fell into the water. The person sustained minor injuries. One of the flashbangs dismasted a boat, and that one was decommissioned, and so it's no longer sailing with us. And they started around midnight, and they continued till about 3 a.m. And around 3, they tapered off, but we were all concentrated together, and it was actually kind of a remarkable scene, which is that there was just the horizon and the boats, and then every so often there'd be an explosion, and we would try to capture it because there's a lot of incredulity about the threat that the boats are under, and so we are a bit at pains trying to document the extent of the attacks. I mean, the footage you shared is from a security camera, and those security cameras are there not merely for our security; it's to broadcast to the world that the boats are under attack.
I don't know why there would be incredulity about that, given that Israel is basically calling you Hamas. We can put this up on the screen from the Israeli foreign minister. This is C2, guys. They say, we have another proposal for the Hamas Samud Flotilla. If this is not about provocation and serving Hamas, you are welcome to unload any aid you might have at any port in a nearby country outside Israel from which it can be transferred peacefully to Gaza. Israel will not allow vessels to enter an active combat zone and will not allow the breach of a lawful naval blockade. Is this about aid or about provocation? Alex, how would you respond to that?
I believe this was the most recent statement that they made. They've made a handful of them at this point. I can tell you what the organizers say, and I can tell you what I make of that. But first, to say that the organizers all say uniformly that if this were true, if Israel was willing to facilitate aid, there would be no real reason for the flotilla to exist. There'd be no reason for us to have independent civilian efforts to break the siege and to get aid into Gaza. So if it's a provocation, the provocation is Israel should deliver the aid, but we know that they're not going to do that. We know that they're not going to deliver sufficient amounts of aid. They've funded UNRWA. They've implemented a deadly, quote unquote, humanitarian distribution mechanism that is helping to corral Palestinians, and then they are killed by Israeli forces. There's nothing to be believed in the statement that Israel is interested in facilitating aid to the people in Palestine.
What have you heard from either Spain or Italy, or what have the organizers heard, and what are they sharing with you? Have you started to see this Italian ship, which said it would be there for rescue? By the way, it made clear that it would be there for potential rescue, which is distinct from saying we're going to be there to offer defense to this flotilla. Have the organizers heard from these governments, or are these just statements that they're catching on social media just like everybody else?
No, the members of the steering committee have met with members of the Spanish parliament. There's an Italian member of parliament on board who is in contact with the Italian government. These are active and ongoing negotiations with European governments to come to an understanding about what kind of protection or support these governments are going to provide. The Italian government, for instance, has said that they would facilitate the aid themselves via a Catholic charity. The organizers have rejected this proposal because the plan is to open up the humanitarian corridor. But at the same time, though, the organizers have also said that they welcome any and all governments to participate in facilitating the humanitarian mission. But the fact of the matter is that we are going to sail toward Gaza with or without a military escort.
Alex, how are you feeling at this point? On the one hand, you've got Israel outright attacking your boats and calling you Hamas. On the other hand, you do have at least a couple of European nations that are saying, hey, we're going to, make sure that you at least don't get killed. Just like as a human being, how are you feeling about your personal safety right now?
So. It's hard to say what's going to happen. And I say to myself at least, and I think a lot of people agree, especially on the ship that I'm on, because we talk about it a lot. We're trying to do what governments won't do, and that requires a certain level of conviction and courage and commitment. And at the same time, whatever we do and whatever we're able to succeed at doing and trying to opening a humanitarian corridor, it's minimal and next to the courage of Palestinians who face being killed every day. So I feel a little bit like I don't want to be over alarmed. I am nervous, and at the same time, I think the standard that has been set for courage is not with governments, but with the Palestinian people.
And I think that's good of you to say, but at the same time, there's no such thing as a courage Olympics, and we all have one life on this planet, and whether you lose it in Gaza or on a ship because Israelis are sending some message, you've still lost a life. So I would discourage people from, and including yourself, from discounting, what it is that you guys are going through. How are the rest of the people feeling going? It feels like a bit of a roller coaster. 2 nights ago, it seemed like they were presaging a much more violent attack, and then the intervention of the Spanish and the Italian navies. Seems like, how was last night? It seems like last night was fairly quiet, which went against the expectations and may have had something to do with the intervention of the Europeans. How was last night?
It was low key by comparison to the night before. The waters that we're sailing into are increasingly getting more rough because there's a storm between Greece and Gaza, and we're making preparations for that. I just to respond to the other thing that you said, I think for me at least, we can control what we can control on this boat, which is that to demonstrate that we're a humanitarian mission, we're nonviolent, we're committed to humanitarian aid, and everyone on board is also extremely conscientious and well organized, and we take care of each other, and as it said, we protect us. And I think in that respect, I have to have trust in that. And I have to believe that the solidarity among the people on board and across the organization is enough to sustain our attempts. And I actually do believe in that quite firmly. I don't, of course I'm worried for my personal safety. And of course and I think even more than that, and this is what all the organizers and crew members say on board, we're far more concerned about one another. Like in the case of an Israeli interception, right? I think most of our impulse is to put our hand in front of someone and prevent them from being harmed by Israeli soldiers, or not let them be dragged off or harassed. We're under strict orders not to do that, so that we don't provoke the Israeli military. And I want to say that that's harder for me, at least, than to imagine being personally assaulted or whatever. I just want to say that I think that's worth underlining, actually, that there is a real spirit of solidarity that's a matter of protecting those around us as we have this very high risk action that we're taking.
Alex, my last question to you at least is, what's your fondest wish for what you're able to accomplish here?
My fondest wish.
Yeah, what would be the best possible?
His fondest wish would be for you to subscribe to Big Red in the Morning. They're probably talking about something super serious. Oh man, guys, leaving for fucking 10 minutes. Dude, this is why I know Slav. Half the shit he says is to be funny because he's still able to be like, well, this is why shit like this is why I still respect Slav. Is I was saying it earlier with like AOC. There's nothing I hate more in this world than someone who's not able to acknowledge, like, oh, even if you have political differences, it's like, I mean, she still can get it. Oh, but yes, coming back. The job is for, I mean, between you and me, guys, and this is more incentive to subscribe, but Big Red might begin a little part-time job ski going down. Oh, but yes, coming back and seeing that the viewership has not changed. I do truly appreciate that. Oh, Anna Kasparian, I saw. Dude, did you see her? Jesus Christ. Jew energy drink, Birds. Hell yeah. Oh no, what was I gonna say? What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Slav, did you see the whole Anna Kasparian Jillian Michaels? Which, I mean, is there two more perfect ladies to watch argue about politics? So funny. The viewership went down when I came back. Here, wait, let me close a couple tabs. Big Red's computer doesn't like when there's big red tabs open. So what's the Slav gets all of his news via Instagram.
Country that's doing a genocide right now having a nuclear weapon.
How do you feel about the Islamic regime of Iran?
How do you feel about a country that's doing a genocide right now having a nuclear weapon? Do you have any problems with that?
But let's say
can you address the nuclear weapons that Israel has, or are you going to deny that they have?
We're talking about Iran, right?
Okay. Well, we're talking about Israel and Iran.
Okay.
Israel
let's
is
stay on Iran.
a
Dude, there's something about defending Israel that fries your brain. Well, I'm saying, there's something about it. Well, I think it's the fact that you have to lie about so much of shit with Israel, where it's like Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. He's like, can Israel have a nuclear weapon? And he's like, we're talking about Iran. It's like, yeah, but you know the point she's trying to make. The point she's trying to make is, it's like, whatever you're mad about Iran, we can say that about you guys, dumbass. Excuse me.
military superpower because of the United States. They have nuclear weapons. They're carrying out the mass slaughter of innocent people in Gaza and the West Bank, which had nothing to do with October 7th. It's not. It's all related. We're pretending as if Israel is the devil here, and they're not.
I've learned my lesson. Don't try to convince someone who's completely off left field.
Someone who's actually educated on the matter.
So you're saying that.
Yeah, that's the like pro-Israeli playbook. It's very fucking weird. The pro-Israeli playbook is like, fuck, what was I trying to say? The pro-Israeli playbook. Dude, did you guys see Gardini on Jim Norton's podcast? God. It's fucking crazy, man. Sorry, I get so distracted. Good for the guard dog. You know, that's crazy. Good for him, man. Jim Norton wants to fucking podcast with you. I mean, I'm jealous, and I'm secretly not happy for him, obviously. But, you know, outwardly facing towards you guys, I'm gonna say I'm happy. No, for real. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to do fucking Jim Norton's podcast, but I'm happy as shit seeing the guard. Like I saw a clip pop up of Gardini talking about something, and I'm like, wait, what's this clip for? It's just weird, dude. It's like a lot of people don't experience this where like fucking Tires season 1 comes out. And I'm like, a lot of people don't get to experience watching a sitcom where the majority of their friends are in it or people they know. You know, they may not be like a lot of people in Tires I'm not close friends with, but I've met them in real life and I know them in a big capacity outside of Tires. Like and then it's just funny where like you guys get to watch
a few years ago.
You guys get to watch Jim Norton's podcast and it's cool. And then occasionally I'm like, oh, look at that. One of my good friends is on it. It's interesting.
A few years ago
it's interesting and fun. But yes, I am very jealous and I hope nothing good happens anymore to him. But let's keep that up on Front Street. I don't know. College age Hillary? I'm not saying she can't. Like, I'm not calling her ugly. But is it like, oh wait, fuck, it's not coming up. I'm not calling her ugly, but is it like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, that's not, she's cute there. I gotta be tough when you, it's, there's certain people when you've assumed they've done a certain set of things, it's hard to find them attractive, but maybe it's my personal bias because I even Ghislaine could get it. So yeah, it's probably I'm a little biased on him. Okay, I mean that's cute. That's Liv Morgan right there. All right, I'll give it to you. I probably have a little. Probably have a little bit of a bias on the Hill Dog. Oh yeah, she cute. Not bad. She got them old school pointy boobs too. Love a good set of pointy boobs. Damn. Where did it all go? God. I'd kill to like I think that's a big reason of like why I'm into the shit I like, because like I'd kill to know what the fucking thing is like behind the scenes on that. On Hillary Clinton. Like, what do you guys do behind the scenes? Yeah, Ghislaine had them big old titties. Told you Gardini up next. Yeah, dude. Gardini been up next. Like, that's why the fucking like Shane getting popular. I mean, I will say this. I was talking Lemaire opened for Shane this weekend or last weekend. And it's like I knew Shane was going to be huge. It's like you just kind of know. You know, when you meet people, you just kind of know. You don't like, I mean, apparently they did a fucking arena and Shane's doing 18,000 people or something crazy like that. I didn't know Shane was going to be 18,000 people want to see him tell jokes for 45 minutes to an hour funny. He's probably doing an hour. What am I saying? I didn't know he was going to be that. I don't know he was going to be that famous, but you can tell. Like, dude, back in the day at open mics, people would like you would. It'd be so fun. You'd watch these dudes who would like talk because there'd be these dudes at our open mics who would like because that's when all the like gay woke shit was more popular, and they'd be like treating people a certain type of way. But then Shane would walk up, and you would just see them completely change their whole fucking thing up. And it would just be like, oh, because he's got a thing about him. And then I remember it was when Shane first started doing, because I was still listening to Real Ass Podcast back then. It was actually probably when I stopped. It's weird to listen to a podcast all your fucking friends are on like that every day. No, I remember Shane was getting on Real Ass Podcast. He's shitting on Lewis a bunch. And then I remember that was like that first started happening. And then a week or two later, I'm on when Shane was still doing a fair one with Tommy. I was on one of those and they were taking calls. And one dude calls in. He's just like, yo, dude, He's like, the way you fucking came at Lewis was so, you fucking got his ass. You're the fucking man, Shane. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, because it was like I'd seen it personally. Then when I started seeing fans do it to him, I was like, Shane does something to dudes' brains. Like it's outside of just like he's hilarious, he's talented, all that shit. But like dudes have like crushes on him. Like there's a thing. I gotta wash my hand. But yeah, it's like, so like you could kind of see that with that. And Gardini's got a thing too. Gardini has I don't think Gardini's very self-aware of any of like his stuff, like the things about it. He could be, I can't tell if Gardini's like self-aware of himself, which isn't even like, it's not even like I'm too self-aware. That's actually but I'm not at the same time. It's weird. Being self-aware for your like entertainment career isn't always the best thing. Yeah, I'll be careful with those arm angles, Dunbar. But no, like I remember I was joking with Gardini. I was like, I forget exactly what the joke was, but it was something about I was like the way you tweet, the thing you do, and he was like, what? It's like, you know what you like, the thing you do on Twitter. Like, here, let's pull up Gardini's Twitter. Gardindin. I typed in Gardindin. Yeah, like Gardini going, watch Sinners on the plane yesterday. The United States, America are so beautiful this time of year. The Italian countryside is beautiful this time of year. This was very. Did I talk about this? This made me laugh so fucking hard, by the way. On my way to watch some football at the pub. # Go Eagles. Terrence Crawford, big win. Mr. Beast, Jason Statham, shit. Like, and I was talking to Gardini. I was like, like the way you tweet. I was joking him. I was like, I did one of those and it made me laugh. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you don't. And like, I think, and that's what I realized. I was like, I think that's part of why I'm not as successful as I thought I would have been. I was like, the people who lack self-awareness are more successful. I don't know if that comes off as a dig. It's not meant to be, but it's like, it always reminds me of the Rick James sketch from Chappelle's Show where he's like, fuck yo couch. And then later, Charlie Murphy punches him in the head. And Rick James is like, why did you do that? And he's like, my couch. And he's like, what are you talking? He's like, I could see in that motherfucker's eyes. He genuinely did not remember, And it's like, those are the people who get like success and shit like that, or easier success in like entertainment shit. Cause it's like, there's mystery to him. Gardini has accidental mystery. He's not doing it. He's not like trying to be Prince or something. Although if this gets to he hate me, if you could make one of your daily Gardini edits, make him look like Prince. But like that's the difference. I'm going to go, I'll fucking talk into microphones all day, every day for hours. It's like, if you watch me, it's like Pat had the best joke where he's like, what I know for certain is no matter what the topic, you and me have an opinion on it. And it's like, it's true. And it's like, but also with the unprompted, I'll tell you my whole life story. If you let me, I'll tell you my whole life story. And it stems from like what we were joking about earlier, where I always have this need to be like desperately like, no, you need to understand where I'm coming from and shit like that. And it's like, if you notice, the people who are the most popular are the ones that don't give you enough. They don't give you a lot. Or Daily Gardini edit is crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to say crazy. I think because He Hate Me does make me laugh. And I think shit like that definitely helps, promote the pods and things like that. But it is funny. I made the joke. I was like, he wakes up every day going like, how should I make because he clearly likes Gardini the most. Gardini and Durag. He likes them the most. So he wakes up every day and he goes, how should I make Gardini dance today? I wonder how I should make Gardini dance. And that's fucking hilarious to me. But yeah, if you notice the people who are more popular and more famous and things like that, a lot of them are the more mysterious ones. But it's weird. It's like there's certain avenues though, like okay, Dave Smith's a great example. Dave Smith, his whole career is like, what do you think about this? And that's kind of like a thing I like to do, where it's like, you know, I'm talking about music, I'm talking about conspiracies, I'm talking about politics, I'm talking about movies. I love to exist in a way. That's why I try to be thoughtful and try my hardest to not sound like a dumbass. Dude, this eye is like killing me right now. But yeah, it doesn't. This is why everyone thinks I'm high all the time. It's like, no, I just had a shitty eye. I just have a dog shit eye. God damn it. That's brutal. That's why Jesus Christ. It feels like it's worse. I'm fucking what's the black dude's name? Oh, Forrest Whitaker. I'm the white Forrest Whitaker, dude. That's so funny. I googled black dude lazy eye. That's so funny. This is why people think I'm stupid. This is what my eyes look like. People think Forrest Whitaker is cool, but people think I'm stupid. Is that not the same? God. Hell yeah! Can someone screenshot this for me real quick? Hell yeah! I got Forrest Whitaker eyes. Andy Whitaker, dude, that's crazy. That's bugging the shit out of me now. I don't know why it looks worse now. All right, I'm gonna obsess about that. But yeah, but there's certain avenues like talking about like with Dave Smith. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's what I'm trying to. I would love to be the guy. That's like when people message me. People message me and they're like, Andy, do you like this band? I love getting those messages, dude. I love because it's like I love having people curious, like, what does Andy think about this? You know what I mean? Because it's like all I love to do is just yap and give my opinion on stuff. But you know what I also love to do is take forever to get to something I said I was going to get to forever ago. But yeah, Tucker had the 9/11 documentary. Or actually, I wanted to talk about Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon on Jimmy Dore. Thank you so much for everyone hanging out. If you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button on the YouTube. Trying to get it to fucking 500. Get to 500. Your boy can monetize it. Tuckumentary. Yeah, we got a Tuckumentary. But first,
my agent called me and he goes,
I'm very curious what Tim Dillon. Oh wait, is this not a Tim Dillon interview? Okay. I thought it was an interview. Tim Dillon let go from. How do you spell Riyadh? I'm just gonna say festival. Okay, here we go. There we go. Here's the clip.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Let's address it out of the gate. Let's talk about the biggest free speech issue right now in the world.
It's kind of funny too, because like respect to Tim Dillon, because this is what I was trying to get to earlier before I got super sidetracked. Where it's like with everyone doing the Saudi Arabia festival, I got super sidetracked going into like Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11, where it seemed like none of it was direct, but they definitely, some of their money flowed into the people who did the bad shit. So for that reason, there is a huge weirdness to go do the Saudi Arabia festival. While I'm not knocking anyone per se for doing it, for personal reasons, like I'm not sitting here saying doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival is it's like, well, I'm done with you. Any of my heroes, if you did it, I'm done. No. Would I do it for my own personal reasons? Probably not. Because it feels weird. If that just, for me, it feels like one of those you don't do. But I'm legitimately not judging anyone who does it. Because when people go, because that's the funny part. The valid reason to not do it is to be like, aren't they involved in 9/11? Isn't it kind of weird to do that if they were involved in 9/11? That's the one that's valid to me. The one that I always like laugh at and roll my eyes at is people will be like, well, they treat women, they treat their civilians, they treat fucking journalists and stuff. And I go, well, I mean, then get ready to not go to any country. You know what I mean? It's like, well, they're not very LGBTQ friendly. It's like, yeah, man, that's most of the countries outside of ours. And it's like, well, they don't treat women very good. And you're like, yeah, same thing, dude. And then it's like, well, they kill journalists. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we do too. We're just less sloppy about it. Like, we're not as sloppy as they are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how many, like, I mean, outside of, I'm sure the US has less journalists that the government has killed, but it's like, how many whistleblowers, like in the US, like it happened with all the planes. We don't talk about that anymore. All those planes went down and just, well, I guess there's no proof that the government killed these whistleblowers. So that's not the best example, but how many like whistleblowers are connected to the US federal government that just go like, yeah, right before they were set to give their statement and shit and go on the record and stuff, they decided to kill themselves with 2 shotgun shells to the back of the head in the middle of a random field. You're like, that's not how you kill yourself. And also that's weird timing. So it's like, I'll keep it a buck for like the morality reasons on those fronts. I was like, then you can't go anywhere in existence. But for me, it's the 9/11 stuff. So like, but everyone's got their own reason. I legitimately don't fault anyone for doing it. But I did respect the hell out of Tim Dillon. That's why I'm doing this long intro before I actually watch it. I do respect the hell out of Tim Dillon because I thought he went about it, and because he's doing his Tim Dillon thing, but in actuality, is my phone fucking ringing? If in actuality, it's like Tim Dillon does his Tim Dillon thing where he goes like, I'd love to be an elite with a bunch of money and I shit on the poor people, but he is still like, when you hear him talk about political shit, like I got really into Whitney Webb again. So I was listening to a bunch of her interviews with Tim Dillon on it. And then I was listening to Tim Dillon on Joe Rogan. And it's like, when he talks about the world, he's talking about like positive things that we should start doing in the world and things like that. So like, while there is some reality to it, I'm not saying he's a complete character. When he's leaning into his Tim Dillon thing for comedy, it's a character at times. But that character also allots him the ability to go, I'm doing Riyadh. I know you're complaining. Suck my fucking dick. And then it's like that's why I fucking love about Tim Dillon's whole thing. It's this like wrestling thing where he's like, I'm being funny, but I'm also not being funny, but I'm still kind of being funny. But then in the character, he's able to approach this topic in a real way, where it's like he gets to be the character where he's like, no, I know all the stuff Saudi Arabia does, and I love that they did that. I love that they did whatever. I forget the exact jokes you were making. He's like, I'll help them kill people, things like that. So, but then him getting fired, and I'm very curious to hear his side of it. Him getting fired is it's in turn making him the realest one of the bunch. Why I'm having a lot of respect for Tim Dillon right now.
Let's address it out of the gate. Let's talk about the biggest free speech issue right now in the world. Let's tackle it head on. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone wants to know what it means. I was fired from the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It is the most important free speech news. Everybody has a take. Everyone has an opinion. It's inescapable. Go to a lunch, it comes up. You're at a christening. You think you're safe, you're not. Did you hear? Comedian, podcaster, Tim Dillon.
The timing of it is hilarious. And this is not to, I feel like I'm glazing Tim Dillon too much. But yeah, just the timing of it for him to pick up on that with the context of Jimmy Fallon is very funny.
Fired from Saudi Arabia's first comedy festival. Shocking developments. What does it mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you how it went down, and then we'll address that thing at ABC with Kimmel. I also heard there's an issue there. But my agent called me and told me, first of all, I'll lay out the whole thing. I was supposed to perform in Dubai. I also
too, thinking about this, I respect Tim Dillon because it's the same reason people like Shane for many reasons. People like Tim and Shane for many reasons. But two reasons they like Tim and Shane is they go, this is how people who grew up. Now, I don't think neither of them were poor, but like they grew up with regular lives and now they're both rich. And it's like, this is how people who got money would act. They're not turning into rich guys. They're like normal guys with a fuck ton of money. And that's what's, and like, that's like, cause it's indicative of Tim's actions where it's like, yeah, I'll take the fuck. Cause deep down, we all would do Riyadh, but also he's acting like a real one right now with the way he's like, I'll still make the jokes about Riyadh. So he's being a real comedian there and shit. And then, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. And then on top of that, he's just addressing it like a normal person, and it's fun. And it's like, that's what's endearing about the dude.
Stop Dubai, and I said Abu Dhabi. Apparently, this is a big deal over there. This is like a real problem. My agent called me and he goes, you said on Joe Rogan that you were performing in Abu Dhabi and you're actually performing in Dubai. They're cities and they have a rivalry. And I go, dude, who gives a fuck? What do I stop? I made a mistake. This is not a malicious slander. It's a mistake.
Oh, wait, is that why is he just getting fired because he got the fucking city wrong?
Mistake. He goes, well, they're very angry and they sent an email that you need to be controlled. I said, well, good luck. Whatever. I don't have to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say, too, where it's like, yeah, he's just about to say, I don't have to do it. Because it's like, because I'm pretty sure he's got to be making he's making six figures a month. I don't know if his Patreon's at like $1 million a month. I wonder if his Patreon, because, dude, there was a while, I remember, you'd be a little slut for the numbers. And you'd be on like everyone's Patreon, which speaking of which, the Big Red in the Morning has a Patreon. It's not good or gets updated, but if you just want to contribute out of the goodness of your heart, it's there. I will at some point figure out a regular thing to do to keep it updated. But if you don't want to go over there, I completely get it. There's not a lot of shit, but there will be. But yeah, it's like I remember checking his Patreon forever ago because just you're curious. And I think, dude, a while ago, dude was making like 200K a month. I don't know if he's still, because a lot of times too, they don't make the Patreon, because that was a thing for the longest time. Everyone could see the numbers. you would see all the big Patreons, and the numbers aren't public anymore. You would see all the big Patreons and shit like that, and it was just fun to talk about it. But then after a while, people got hip to it and just made all their Patreon numbers private. Because it is a thing too, like, when you're like, we made ours private a while ago, but a lot of people at our level, they don't have it private. So it is kind of a thing. When you're at that, it is like a subtle thing to flex on people a little bit. But yeah, once you start getting to $100,000 a month, 500, whatever that is. Once you start getting to those numbers, now you're like, hey, maybe I don't put my financials everywhere on Front Street. Maybe we keep that a little bit subtle.
Very angry, and they sent an email that you need to be controlled. I said, well,
oh yeah, but he's definitely, that's what I was trying to say too. Because I remember he was saying he's making like $275K. Maybe it was like 300K maybe. Because I remember him saying it was like originally wanted $500,000 and then they gave him 300K. It was something like that. And yeah, so it's a thing of like, yeah, I'll take 300K. Because also, too, you get a fucking free trip to Saudi Arabia, which I got to be honest, I don't, I'm not are there criticisms of the country? Sure. Are they a little, backwards in areas that I would say maybe do this and that? Sure. But that's also their culture and that's what they like to do. So there is that where you kind of got to like party has to kind of respect that and just let them like vibe out on their shit. Because going back to, really, a lot of it comes back to the 9/11 shit. All the other stuff is just like, I mean, that's your guys' thing. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. So yeah, it's like, dude, I gotta be like, I get the perception of a lot of things, but like, I gotta be honest. It's what 2-3 days. It's like 2 days of work. You're there for 3 or 4 days. You get like Tim Dillon's getting 300K. I'm sure a lot of those dudes are probably creeping up on $1 million, shit like that. There is that part of you where it's like, but I can't, it's like, how else am I going to see Saudi Arabia? You know what I mean? Things like that. I get wanting to do it. Again, for me, it's the 9/11 stuff. Not a fan of that they did that or that they helped. But also at the same time, it's like, yeah, 300K, you get to go to Saudi Arabia. But also, and that's what's dope about Tim Dillon is a lot of people who have the type of money he has, they don't like. It goes back to one of my favorite Killer Mike lyrics. Who the fuck gonna bully me if I got a billy? If I got a billy and a bitch recording me, I'm like, who cares? And it is a thing of like, I'm not saying Tim Dillon's a billionaire, but he's like, it's a comment on like the like when all the like was it something Sterling? I forget the guy's name who got in trouble because people found out a white guy in his 70s was a little bit racist. Or I think it was like his 80s. White guy in his 80s who had a black girlfriend was a little bit racist, didn't want to, and like people fucking went nuts on that. People went fucking nuts. But it was a thing of like I get it. You don't want to like compromise your position, but there gets to a point where it's like, yo, how are you a multi-billionaire and they still manage to cuck you up? And you see it in all these examples where it's like these rich people still manage to get cucked the fuck up. So seeing some dude like Tim Dillon who's like, yeah, I'll take your money, but also I got my own. I'm not going to let this like affect my shit. That's cool to see. Because you shockingly don't see that enough.
well, good luck. Whatever. I don't have to do it. I don't care. And then he called me a few days later, and I thought he was going to talk about the Kimmel thing. But he called me and he said, they heard what you said about them having slaves. And I said, I was being positive about it. I was defending them. He goes, well, I know that. I said, I was defending them for having slaves. I literally said, slaves are probably hard workers and for the most part, agreeable. But they didn't like that. You can literally support somebody too much. I've learned this. You can actually, by the way, in life, this happens. Too many compliments, too much support, and then they turn on you. I was saying that slaves were proud of some of the buildings they built. That's what I was saying. I was saying that if I was a slave, not that I want to be, if I was a slave and I built a really nice thing, I might say to my slave children, Daddy built that. That's what I was saying, that I would have said, hey, Daddy built that. When my slave children said, ooh, look at that, I'd say, Daddy built that. I was going that angle. Apparently, this got to the people in Saudi Arabia, and they were unhappy about it. They're huge fans of comedy over there. Now, I am very clear about the way I will do a gig. If I accept a gig, I am not going to break the rules of the gig. Meaning, Amish people call me. They go, Tim, we're going to pay you a lot of money. We want you to perform in the Amish, Pennsylvania Dutch country. But we're Amish. So we don't want to hear about iPhones or Kalshi, which they should hear about. It's phenomenal, this Kalshi. We'll get to it later. But if that was a rule, I would respect it while I'm there, while I'm in Pennsylvania Dutch country, eating shoe-fly pie, respecting their culture. You have a culture. You've got Sharia law. Would I like Sharia law? No, I don't want it. Actually, I don't want it. I'm good. But you have it. So it's not like I have backed about the prophet anyway. So I certainly wasn't going to show up in your country and insult the people that are paying me the money. One, it's illegal. So I wasn't really planning to go to a Saudi jail. But on my own show, in my own country, where I have the freedom to speak and say the things I want, I'm going to be funny and I'm going to be who I am. And if you're not buying that, you don't have the right to tell me on my own show. People were coming up to me.
Yeah, this is an interesting comment too. Yeah, it's kind of Saudis really want in on entertainment, sports, golf, boxing, MMA, and now comedy. It's this funny. I was watching a video on this because apparently, like the Saudis, I don't know if they're like worried they're gonna run out of oil or natural gas or whatever the fuck it is, but I think from what I remember watching in the video, it's like they're realizing like, well, one, we have an image problem. Two, our whole thing is oil. And it's like we need other shit than oil. And it's like I think that I wonder if the Saudis were feeling almost like pariahs on the global stage and shit, where it was like, everyone accepts them because they're afraid of them, and they're almost like we want to work on PR, and it is this thing where they are trying to do the shit like with MMA and boxing and WWE and entertainment and stuff like that, but then stuff like this is a bad look where we want to bring comedy in, but it still feels like, okay, you guys are mad at being separate from the whole world. Well, when you try to bring in the rest of the world, but you say under our parameters, you're self-alienating yourself, and it's not a good look.
Me saying, why would you go to that country? They have slaves. In Tribeca, they're assaulting me, these people. I'm just leaving a lunch, and they're coming out. They have slaves, they say. And of course, I addressed it in a funny way, and they fired me. And then they told me, they go, my agents, they all call me. You don't have to talk about this, they say. Don't talk about it. Remember when you talked about Joker? I said, what? They go, it hurts you to talk about these things. In what? What is even left, you bums? The only thing left is what I'm doing. Nobody, what? What are you talking about? So, and what I mean by that is there's the business doesn't have any teeth anymore. They can't tell me what to do or say. They're not even offering anything. They're not even offering anything. We don't want people thinking you're a problem. but they already, how do they not think that? How could they not think that?
Yeah, because like honestly, I was thinking about that with all the SNL hires. Like we're still in this old school mindset. So people see, all these people get hired by SNL. If that's what they want, I'm happy for them. But in the broad scale of like, dude, I'm sure Cam Patterson, and probably some of those TikTokers, it's like, you guys are probably going to lose money by working at SNL. If you're working at SNL, you're not going to be able to do show. Like Cam's not going to be able to do shows there. I'm not shitting on Cam. If that's what he wants to do, I'm happy for him, legitimately. And I know that I don't mean that to come off as condescending. Genuinely, if that's what you want, Lemaire will make jokes about SNL, and I legitimately think he would love to be on SNL, and it would fuck up the podcast. But there is part of me that's if that makes you happy, I'm happy for you. So I'm not shitting on that. I'm just saying Cam's not gonna be able to do shows like he could. And then the people making TikToks, it's you're probably gonna not be able to do that as hardcore. So it's you're legit probably gonna lose money. And then, but then you go no, but in the long run, and you're yeah, maybe, depending on where things go, because it's historically, SNL, just the fact that it's an SNL movie or an SNL alumni, for every Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, there's everyone else. There's Chris Kattan, and I love Chris Kattan. I'm not even shitting on him, but you know what I mean? For every Adam Sandler, there's a Chris Kattan. So that's not a guarantee. And then honestly, but then you could be well, then you're going to, you could be in a cool kids club where you get a lot of work, but because of that, you know what I mean? But then that's not even a guarantee. So it is just a lot of these. And so it's the same thing with bringing it back to Tim Dillon. Bringing it back to Tim Dillon. I didn't think about that. He does the Killers of Kill Tony, right? Yeah. But also he just Cam just does tours and shows and shit like that. And it's Cam's funny. Cam's I'm not we're not close friends or anything, but I've met Cam and I've talked to him once or twice being here in Austin. Cam is crazy likable. He's very nice. Dude, not knowing anyone, if he walks up to a group of people, he'll shake his friend's hand that he knows, and then he'll shake every single person's hand every single time. I don't do it the exact way he does it, but I remember sitting there, and then he says hi and shakes everyone's hand, and you go, that's really nice. So it made me more aware of that. So I'm more likely to say hi to everyone literally because of that. Because I go, that made me feel great that Cam did that. So he's a really nice guy. He's very funny. And he's only going to get funnier. So it's the opportunities they're not going to miss it. You know what I mean? The opportunities aren't going to miss, he's going to have more opportunities. And even if he just stayed to stand up and had the Kill Tony Association, he'd be fine. So it's but everyone, just because they know how big of a deal it was back in the day, all this stuff, I guess what I'm trying to say, and correlating it to Tim Dillon doing the Joker movie, where it's Tim, you had a minute cameo in the Joker movie. You can't talk poorly about it. It'll ruin it. It's brother, all these guys like Tim Dillon, they're going to make more money and have more positive exposure doing these fucking podcasts than anything else. So for a guy like Tim Dillon, doing the Joker 2 is something you do for fun. And if that thing you did for fun ends up being one of the worst movies in the world, to literally, Joker 2 will go down as one of the worst movies ever made. Cam steals jokes from the white man. I don't think he does that. That's hilarious. But yeah, Joker 2 is one of the worst movies ever made. And you want this guy who makes his career, he's made his career off of being a fucking unhinged funny guy on a podcast. You want him to be super fucking worried about what the creators of the Joker say? It's also too, it's gonna fuck his brand up. You know what I mean? If Tim Dillon was in the Joker and that shit fucking bombs and he doesn't say anything about it, it's also gonna fuck his shit up. People are gonna lose respect for him.
A Google of me and a read, a 60-second scroll. You buy me, you buy what I'm going to do. Joker was a bad movie. Why would I lie and say it's good? Everyone thought it was bad in the world. Okay? Every article that came out was like, hey, this thing sucks. What was I supposed to do? By the way, I was in it for a second and I made no money.
Yeah.
What loyalty am I supposed to have?
I was thinking that as I was yapping. I'm like, he also probably didn't make fucking shit to do the movie, because all those people think it's like you should be honored that you're here. It's that fucking mindset that was prevalent through Vice. You know, the magazine Vice. Apparently everyone who worked there got paid shit, but like they got paid, their payment was like, you get to feel cool because you work here.
And the director was mean to me. So I'm supposed to go out there and talk about how great it is. Well, you're actually just misunderstanding the movie. It's actually really good. The Joker doing dance numbers is good. It's good that it doesn't have a plot. It's actually good. It doesn't work. Who the fuck wants to watch that? You know? So they were like, well, you don't have to tell people that you're not going because, we don't want people thinking you're that person that gets fired. Yeah, whatever, think it. What do I give a fuck? I mean, what? Who cares? I'm going to get fired again. I'm going to get fired again from people that are not even Saudis. I'm going to get fired by people who don't chop hands off. I'm going to get fired by people. I'm going to get fired by people that don't practice Sharia law. I will be fired by many races and religions. I'm going to be fired by us. This is the most controversial the people who fire me will ever be. Let me relish in this. Let's take this win. The future people that fire me will be good mothers and fathers, family people who probably fire me for a completely rational reason. I just rolled out of bed and I just decided to do something they didn't like, and that's completely fine. It is what it is. This is the first time I've been fired by people that actually do really bad things. So let's take this win. Let's take this win. I'm now with Iran.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's funny you said, Slav. I was listening to this and I thought Tim was kidding. Well, that's what's great about this clips, because like he has these moments where, and I think he does what every good comic does who is being serious on podcast. I immediately go, what every good comic does. It's like what I did. I'm such a cunt. I'm such a fucking ugh. Anyway, no, but it's what every funny comic does where it's like he's going and he catches himself. He's like, I've been serious for too long. Let's say something funny and say I'm with Iran now.
Iran's against them. I'm with Iran now. You pushed me to the bosom of Iran. Do you understand that? I'm going to Tehran to do their comedy festival. I don't care. I'm being pushed into the arms of Iran. Those types of Muslims. What are those ones called? Shia. I'm Shia now. I was going to be Sunni. I think Saudi is Sunni and Iran is Shia. Right? Yes? Maybe? I'm Shia now.
Shiite.
Right?
I think it's Shiite.
That's what I am now because you've done this to me. You fired me and created a Shia problem. I'm a Shiite problem now, biatch. So
I don't know who his producer is, but I got to be honest. Ben laughed way better. Can I just throw that out there? God, I miss how Ben laughed on his show.
cares? By the way, I get to keep, my agent knows this. He knows often if you represent me, you're going to get calls that people are unhappy. He just thought it would be like the usual suspects, the people around this town, this dispiriting dump called Los Angeles.
It's such a funny way to put it. It's such a funny way to put it, to be like, the guy, like Tim, the Saudi government's going to be mad at you. The Saudi Arabian government is not going to like what you're doing. Like, what, are they going to try to like kill me? Like, oh, then who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care if they're going to be disappointed in you. Well, I got to be honest. I'm disappointed in them sometimes.
Angeles. He thought it was going to be those people at the, whatever, the Riviera Country Club calling me going, we don't really, this guy's like, what is he doing? Like, why does he open his mouth? What's wrong with him? Why is he dressed up like a Muslim, then a Jew? What's going on? That's the normal calls. He didn't think he was going to get a call from the Middle East. He didn't think I was going to get fired by a theocracy in the Middle East. Neither did I, but I'm with Iran now. That's what happens. This is geopolitics.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Very funny. Yeah, man. Props to Tim Dillon, standing on business. I thought it was a very funny way to deal with all that. That was fucking great. Shout out Iran, I guess. No, I'm kidding. Please don't kill me, Saudi government. You ever meet Ben Avery? I did one time. He's actually friends with Gardini. Him and Gardini are pretty chill. Actually, it's funny. I fuck with I think I've talked about it before. I listened to Lemon Party and Hate Watch because it's like, you know what it is? I've just been in comedy for so long that I just like a lot of shit don't hit the same. And like they are too. Lemon Party and Hate are the funniest podcasts right now. So I listen to them a good amount. And I listen to a couple things, but it's just weird. It's weird, like, because when I first started, like, all I listened to was like comedy podcasts, and then like I'll try to go back to those, and they don't hit the same. I'm not even like saying they're bad. It just doesn't hit the same. That's really what it is. They don't hit the same. So yeah, that stuff's a bummer, but it's why because it's like I don't know how much fun I'd have doing this if I didn't have at least like it was so Lemon Party's just Timu Cumtown, not gonna lie. That's not fair. I don't know. No, Lemon Party's pretty fucking good. I'm not trying to do like Tim Butterly show. Nice. That's what's up. Yeah, I gotta be honest. It's just weird. It's weird. I will do that. I'll listen to Matt and Shane occasionally. I'll listen to Matt and Shane occasionally. I used to listen to Dad Meat sometimes because it's just I'm just a comedy fan. You know what I mean? So because I know there's like a weird thing about listening to. Well, there's this weird thing in comedy if like. Because that was another thing I was super self-conscious of. There's like, if you get pegged as like a fan, there's like a weird thing. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm into stand-up comedy. God forbid, like, I consume some of the funniest people there is. So there's kind of this like unfair representation of like, well, I think it's more just about don't be gay about it. But like a lot of, I think that's really what it is. It's really more so don't be gay about it. Did you say the audio is choppy? Okay, it's better now. No, I don't know. It's I think it's like people because comedians. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I've noticed in the music industry. It's like it's very common to be like, oh yeah, I listened to that album. It's really good. I listen to the album all the time. But if you like find out like one of your peers is listening to another one of your peers' podcasts, when it's like, well, I'm a comedian. I'm obsessed with comedy. I've been doing comedy for a while. And now my peers are the funny people right now. So like there is part of you where it's like, well, why wouldn't I do that? But like there, and it's one of the most annoying things about stand-up comedy is everyone who does comedy is a big retarded loser, and they act like, a lot of them act like they're too cool for school. You know, it's like when, yeah, comedians are gay fags. Like, let's just keep it a buck. And I mean that in the best way possible. We're all fucking like losers to a degree. That's why we chose comedy and not a cooler thing. But like, I don't know. I don't know if people, because I know I used to be like this. Not so much anymore because I realized how fucking gay it was making me. But like a lot of people in comedy, they'll be like, what am I trying to say? I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know if they have like some sort of spite or pettiness in them because no one thought they were cool. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly, but comics love to act like they're too cool for school, and it's like we're all huge fucking dorks. We're all Peter Pan man children. Take it down a notch. So like, but it's what comes from everyone like making fun of each other. So they'll find out, they're like, oh, are you actually? It's the thing of like, oh, are you being open and revealing that you're gay? This is where I get the shit, because it's like, I'm a self-actualized human being, and I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable in my sexuality, so I'm proud to let people know I'm a gay man. But then people will come at you to be like, aha, you're gay, and it's like, well, you're the repressed one. You're also gay. You know what I mean? It's like when a comic calls you gay, it's like when a Republican senator is like, we can't let these fags get married. It's like, well, you're a gay guy, dude. What are you talking about? It's like friendly fire, brother. You know what I mean? It's like the Republicans that shit on gay people, and then whenever there's a huge GOP gathering, the grinder usage goes through the roof. It's like the same thing with comedy. It's like, brother, you're on Grindr like all of us. Owen Schroyer is on Primetime with Alex Stein tonight. Nice. I don't really watch Owen Schroyer. I know he had the whole thing with Alex Jones, and I don't care too much about that drama, but I got a little bit into it, and it was a lot of he said, she said. Both sides were on the complete polar opposite, so I don't really pay attention to that. All right, I promised this Tucker thing, so let's check out this Tucker thing.
For 24 years now, politicians, the media, intel agencies in this country and abroad.
Oh, shit. So this is like a doc. I might have to check this out, because I know Tucker's got a bunch of docs where it's like about dudes sunning their balls and shit like that. And I'm like, I'm good on that, Tucker. But is this a legit like 9/11 documentary being like, blaming people? I'm pretty excited about this.
Have all demanded that you believe the official story about 9/11. And here's what it is. They tell you a group of Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists.
Wait, what are you saying? Are you bitter about podcasts or just don't want to be influenced? Am I bitter about podcasts? Or are you asking about comedians? No, I freely will. I'm like, dude, if I'll freely get influenced by anyone, I go, because there's a lot of people who are more talented than me, and I'm like, please influence me and make me funnier. You know what I'm saying? Please influence me and make me funnier. Please. The thing I was saying before is that, like, I'm a little confused by the question. I'm not saying you're coming at me or nothing. Are you bitter about podcasts or just don't want to be influenced? No, I'm if I'm bitter about anything, it's a lot of people who, it's like when you do a lot of work to be, a much more self-actualized human being, and then other people who haven't done any of the work, they come at you like you're a fucking dickhead. That's the stuff I'll get a little bent out of shape about. Because it's like, I've talked about this before. I don't do your thing. I worry about me and my family. Me and my family, do your thing. But like, if I'm cooking, doing my thing, being a positive person, and you're in your little, pile of slop, in your little trash pile, and if your trash pile makes you happy, that's fine. Don't give me shit because I don't want to live in a trash pile. You know what I mean? Don't give me shit because I'm not flopping around in a trash pile with you. That's my thing. People who are little dirty pigs in trash, they get mad. Like when they're little dirty pigs in the mud, they get mad that you're not in the mud with them. That's the kind of shit that bugs me. It's like, hey man, I'm working real hard to not be in the mud. Don't give me shit because I'm not in the mud. You know what I mean? Don't pull me down because I'm not a loser like you. That's the shit I get mad about. But anyway, let's check out this Tucker video. He's got a documentary about 9/11, which I'm kind of excited to watch because, like I said before, like some of his docs were like, hey, dudes need to sun their balls and shit like that. Nah. But and I think he keeps them behind a paywall. Is this a paywall thing? I think he keeps them behind a paywall. So if this is good and it's literally just like Tucker, being like, yo, let's expose some shit about 9/11. Let's talk about 9/11 like people haven't talked about. I'm very intrigued and I might check it out because Tucker's good at docs.
For 24 years now, politicians, the media, intel agencies in this country and abroad have all demanded that you believe the official story about 9/11. And here's what it is. They tell you a group of al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists, many of whom were known to U.S. intel services, somehow managed to evade capture for years as they planned the most significant and elaborate terror attack in human history.
Yeah, isn't that a big part about the lead up to 9/11? Is like there were so people, because like the intelligence agencies or whoever will be like, there's no way we could have known, and then you look on a surface level into it and they're like, there was so many signs.
We're told that despite repeated encounters with the FBI, the CIA, local law enforcement, airport security, foreign intel organizations, the right information somehow never made it to the right people. The government failed because it just didn't have the intelligence it needed. That's the story. That story is a lie. Nearly 25 years later, the families of 3,000 civilians are still mourning the murder of their loved ones. Anyone who doubts the official narrative is cast as a kook, a criminal.
You would have think by now they would have found a second shot from the Pentagon. But apparently on the day of 9/11, there was one camera working for a total of 5 seconds. Very interesting. Very interesting.
A fringe conspiracy theorist and punished. They've been blacklisted and...
Oh, I see what you were saying earlier. Sorry, you inferred the glory of podcasting was gone. No, I was saying like the deeper I've gotten to stand up, it hits differently. You know, it's like when you like shit. It's like when you like shit a certain type of way and then you like learn a fuck ton about it and get really ingratiated and all that shit. You just look at stuff a different way. It's not that it's like, oh, I actually found out this sucked. It's just after, I've been doing stand-up for over a decade. Shit just hits different the more you know and the more shit like that. But what else did you say? Watched this yesterday. It's good. Al Boyani and the SD guy is still free, possibly involved in Las Vegas. Oh, interesting. The camera in front of the Pentagon was so dog shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Censored and banned. Even as the leaders who failed to protect our country on 9/11 use these attacks as a pretense to expand their own powers and permanently transform the United States. None of this is speculation. All of it is true. Over the course of this series, you will hear accounts from people who lived it. CIA officers and analysts who were there, FBI agents from the bin Laden unit, family members of the victims. None of these people are kooks. All of them have firsthand information. What they'll tell you is that what you have been told about September 11th is not true. Why are we doing this? Our purpose is in part to make the strongest possible case for a real investigation into 9/11 25 years later. A new 9/11 commission, one that is honest, one that is not guided by partisan political interest, one that is not serving foreign powers. To do this investigation, we spent many months looking into what actually happened and speaking to people who saw it. We poured over thousands of pages of documents, mostly primary sources, but also contemporaneous news reports and declassified government documents. Over the course of this investigation, we made numerous findings that shocked us, not least of which the apparent role that former CIA Director John Brennan played in helping bring the 9/11 hijackers to the United States, and the remarkable lengths the CIA went to protect the 9/11 hijackers from the FBI and from domestic law enforcement.
Damn, Tucker's going hard. This is so interesting. It's so interesting, just like the world I grew up in. I would have never expected, like, just with the internet has facilitated a world where one of the most mainstream voices in news is talking about 9/11 like this. This is very fascinating.
Telling the full story requires starting before the attacks, going back to something called Alec Station. That was the CIA's bin Laden unit.
Did you say this is, so this is going to be on YouTube for free weekly, but you can watch it and you can watch all of it right now? Very cool.
In 1990. Telling the full story requires starting before the attacks, going back to something called Alec Station. That was the CIA's bin Laden unit.
Well, this too, shit like this too is very dangerous to the regime and to the, deep state, whatever, you know what I mean? You know the terms. This is the kind, I wish more libertarian shit had people who were good at this. I wish I was better at this because I'd spend more time doing it, but something more dangerous than having the information out there, because there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of information out there that should expose everything. You know what I mean? There's information that should expose everything. And I realized this listening to, actually, we were talking about him before, but Tim Dillon talking to Rogan about Whitney Webb, who Rogan was saying he'll have Whitney Webb on, which that would be a great pod. But Rogan was joking about, like, her being afraid for her safety. And it's like, why is she not afraid for her safety? And it's like, it's because directly her book, like, she writes these books that are like kind of long and intricate if you're not deep into the topic. So, like, Whitney Webb isn't dangerous because there's no version of Whitney Webb that is very easily palatable in a short, concise way. Like, and that's not shitting on Whitney Webb. I love listening to her on podcasts. She's very interesting, very informative, all that stuff. But, like, the people who listen to Whitney Webb are the people who are deep into this shit. Normal people don't really like. I feel like the average person isn't consuming Whitney Webb shit because 9 times out of 10, if you hear a Whitney Webb podcast, there's like if you hear a Whitney Webb interview, by the end of the interview, she said fucking 100 things you've never heard of before that you have to, like, double check on to be caught up to, like, what she's talking about. But the second someone takes Whitney Webb's info and breaks it down in a dissectable way, in a very clear, understandable way that average people can comprehend it, that's why it's like you get people who do all the hard work, like Whitney Webb, and then someone like if you go watch Sagar and Genty, I believe that's how you say his last name. If you go watch, not that Sagar does a lot of his own hard work, but Whitney Webb and people like her did all the like super tough, like boring research work that Tucker was kind of talking about earlier. And then a guy like Sagar comes in, he takes all that information, organizes it, and he takes these countless hours of work and bubbles it down and breaks it down to a very clear, concise 2-hour segment on Andrew Schultz's podcast. So if you go listen to Andrew Schultz's podcast, where he had Sagar on talking about the Epstein stuff, it's like a 3-hour pod, but for the first 2 is where Sagar's like giving you the timeline. If you go listen to that, you have a very clear understanding, a very clear base level understanding of the Epstein shit. And so that's the more like they don't care that all this information is out there. Something like Sagar on Flagrant, or honestly, depending on how this documentary goes, this is the kind of shit they're worried about. Because if you give people because right now the 9/11 story can still like people are more willing to joke that it was like there's a conspiracy going on. But if you present it in a way where people go like, oh, it was like definitely something fucked up happening, and people kind of like understand that on a core level, you're altering the perception of reality for a lot of people. And that's why I'm if this is well made, this could be a very, very, not to sound fucking corny, but like a very dangerous piece of work. But then also too, all my conspiracy bros are like, nope, his dad was in the CIA. This is all an elaborate thing by the deep state. So who knows what is what.
1999.
My name is Mark Rossini. I'm a former FBI agent. So from January 1999 to May of 2003, I was the FBI New York Joint Terrorism Task Force representative to Alex Station at CIA headquarters. Before 9/11, no sources in Al-Qaeda. None. There was a group of Pashtun caretakers, okay?
It's very funny to make very New York type dudes talk about a bunch of Arab stuff. So these Pashtun leaders. So you see all the fucking Pashtuns over there with the little towels on the head, and that's what the character would say. That's not what I would say. Yeah, very funny.
The Trod Pines.
Also, it seems like all these dudes yell. They put out that Osama bin Laden doc on YouTube or on Netflix where the dudes could not stop yelling.
Trod Pines were these Pashtun people that were bin Laden's T-boys and T-gals, right? And they were the great source of the Pakistani intel service.
Notice a lot of these Al-Qaeda dudes love a good bed on the floor. Must be from the constant movement. God, they love a good bed on the floor.
That was feeding information from the Trod Pines to the ISI to the CIA about what was going on in Al-Qaeda. They had all the electronic communication satellite shit in the world, imagery. I remember looking at images of bin Laden, in his court.
I fucking love how they got all the satellite shit in the fucking world. They're doing all the little fucking doing. Oh, they'd get more done if they didn't have to stop to pray every fucking 5 minutes. I'll tell you that much. Dude, please put New York cops on every task force. These fucking Arab cocksuckers. Dude, if I knew they were going to do that to me, if I knew they were going to do that to my city, oh, it wouldn't have gone down like that.
Yard, all that, fine. But what's in his head? What's he saying? What's he doing? These people are 10,000 miles away. They don't give a shit about American law. They don't care about going to jail. They want to die. How are you going to get a source inside there?
Before September 11th, U.S. intel services got most of their intelligence on bin Laden from what was called the Hada Home switchboard in Sana'a, Yemen. That was a communications hub that bin Laden and his associates used to communicate with each other. They were, at the time, living in Yemen. The FBI gained access to this after the 1998 embassy bombings in East Africa.
How did we officially get the Hada Home in Sana'a, Yemen on the books, on the radar, if you will? Okay. Nairobi.
New York and Massachusetts have the best accents. Dude, for real. They need a guy from like Queens or the Bronx. I want a dude from the Bronx. I want a dude from Boston, and I want a dude who's lived in Fishtown and Philly his whole life, and I want them to have a podcast about geopolitics. It would be unbelievable, dude.
1998, August 7th. John Antisef, Special Agent John Antisef, greatest FBI agent ever in the FBI, even better than me. John flies over to
By the way that this is done, it's very clear, concise, and easy to understand. And it's just proof that like people in these media organizations like choose to not, like they actively choose to not do good work. And it's like it's not like let me put it this way. They could make it so much easier for the American people to like understand things and understand the stories because they have the information, they know how to make good shit. It's just they're not using their resources properly because they're fucking propaganda arms of the state. Honorary mention white trash Baltimore. Yes. A Baltimore guy in there too would fucking rip. Maybe working the soundboard.
To Nairobi. And one of the survivors, one of the perpetrators who chickened out and ran and lived, Daoud Rashid Al-Awali, Saudi, he gets captured by the Kenyan police. John flies over from New York, and already there have been 2 FBI agents interviewing Daoud. They were getting someplace, but they really weren't getting that far, right? John walks in. And first thing he does, he says, "You need some water? You want a drink? Did you eat today? Did you pray? Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. He's fine. I said, just relax. Just let's have a chat. He didn't beat him with a phone book. He didn't fucking waterboard him. He didn't pull his fingernails.
Dude, this guy's fucking awesome. He didn't waterboard him. This guy fucking rules.
I said, just relax. Just let's have a chat.
You want a water? You eat today? You fucking pray? You afraid of your fucking fake God? You need a smoke? You want to grab my wife's titty? What do you want to do? Okay, anyway, let's talk. Who did it? Come on. Talk to daddy. Who did it?
He didn't beat him with a phone book. He didn't fucking waterboard him. He didn't pull his...
He didn't waterboard room him. Dude said he didn't waterboard room him. He's literally saying waterboard room.
Son, I said, just relax. Just let's have a chat. He didn't beat him with a phone book. He didn't fucking waterboard him. He didn't pull his finger.
I can't tell. Yeah, honestly, it sounds like waterboarder. How you mother in there? Yeah, he's like, how you doing? You want to talk about this? You need a fucking smoke? How your mother doing? What's the weather like over there? Yeah, you fucking goofy little. You guys are crazy. I get it. Knock it off. But you guys are fun. I got to be honest.
Nails out. He wasn't Mr. Tough Guy like all these fucking assholes like Dick Cheney want to believe, right? They're all pieces of shit. He talked.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck Dick Cheney. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot.
To him like a human being. Take me through the day. Talk to me. So I went to the hotel and I got my stuff ready. And did you call anybody? Yeah. I called this number. And he wrote it down. And he gave John the number of the Hada home in Sana'a, Yemen, which was the Al-Qaeda switchboard that we in the FBI had no fucking clue existed up until that point. CIA and NSA did, because remember, they had been listening to the Nairobi cell and their activity since 1996. We in the FBI didn't know about that number.
The Hada home wasn't just a communications hub for Al-Qaeda. It was the physical home of the father-in-law of Khalid al-Midhar, one of the future 9/11 hijackers.
At the end of 1999, listening to that phone is when the CIA learns and the NSA learns that Khalid al-Midhar is going to be traveling from there to Dubai, and then from Dubai onward to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to meet the summit.
The summit was a meeting of an operational cadre of Al-Qaeda-affiliated terrorists from around the world.
He was scheduled to travel on or about January 5th, 2000. The NSA has the ability, did and probably still has, to get any airplane reservation at once in the world and know about it, right? We knew his passport number, we had the phone, we had everything. So we knew his travel information. We knew what flights he was taking, we knew what seat he was going to sit in. The CIA arranges for when he gets to Dubai to be secondary, okay? Not fully questioned, but, you know, talk to him a little bit. And then he goes to his hotel room and they arrange to search his room and go in. And when they go in, his passport is there and they take pictures of it and photocopy it. And they send back the imagery. And lo and behold, in his passport is a visa to go to the United States of America, issued out of the American consulate in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
According to one recently released court filings, quote, the visas were issued to facilitate an operation run by the Saudis and the CIA spying operation. The station chief in Riyadh at the time was future CIA Director John Brennan. The CIA continued tracking al-Madhar to Kuala Lumpur.
Sorry, I don't have anything to contribute except girl, Tucker, what'd you say, girl? Sorry, that was racist. I'm sorry. I'm so racist.
Where he met up with other al-Qaeda associates, including Nawaf al-Hazmi, a second future 9/11 hijacker.
He lands in Kuala Lumpur. They entrust the Malaysia Special Branch police to surveil this terror summit in this park in Kuala Lumpur. And so much so to tail them and to surveil them, etc. And that information ends up in a communication from Kuala Lumpur Station CIA to CIA headquarters, to Alex Station, to the computer screen of me and Special Agent Doug Miller of Washington Field Office FBI. You have this cable that lays out the meeting in Kuala Lumpur, the photocopying of his passport in Dubai, and the learning of the visa to go to the United States of America. Doug Miller gets up from his cubicle of power, comes over to my cubicle of power and says, hey, we got to tell the FBI about this. I said, Doug, you're damn right. He goes, I'll write up the CIR. What is a CIR? A CIR is what is a Central Intelligence Report. Doug writes it, he sends it to me. I approve it, and it goes to the desk of Michael Ann Casey, CIA officer, analyst. And it sits in her queue, her electronic queue, and it doesn't move for like a day or two. It should move in a fucking few hours. I'll never forget, like it was yesterday. Never forget.
Yeah, it's dumb bitch sitting on it like she sits on a big fat ass every day after lunch. Oh yeah, what? Oh what? You have a good big stromboli every day for lunch? You stupid bitch. Forget about it. This guy fucking rules, dude. Waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay does sound like a summer sport excursion. It does sound potentially fun. It was like the meeting of the 5 families. Forget about it. This little thing of Oz. It's like stupid bitch.
I standing over her. I said, hey, Doug CIA.
Hey, you feel like doing your job today? Oh, I didn't know you take PTO and come to work still, stupid bitch.
They are. She got to go to the FBI. He said, no, it's not. I said, well, why not? She said, because it's not FBI, not an FBI matter. What do you mean it's not FBI matter? She said, it's a CIA matter. And when and if we want the FBI to know, we will tell them. And you are not to say anything.
God, fucking, yeah, damn it. Pause it. I hate that about our intelligence agencies. You know, if for the sake of, for the potential of them even working right, like, I guess, you know what? I guess I'm conflicted. Like, do I actually want them to work efficiently? But just on its face, like, I mean, to prevent 9/11, I'd like them to work efficiently. But on its face, it's like, why would you not? Like, I don't know why the CIA and the FBI don't have access to each other's info. Wouldn't they have a? I just saw this cannoli tits. Hey, cannoli tits, when are you gonna send that over? You know, oh, you're gonna do it before or after you finish your fucking nails? Yeah, I always just wonder, I'm like, wouldn't it be better for you guys to fucking, you know, to share info a little bit more?
Yeah, but they got a visa to come to the U.S. Like, they should know. we're handling it, and when we want to tell the FBI, we will. I looked at her, and you remember she got up, but she put her hands on her hip, pointing a finger at me. Now, in my naivete, I believed her. And I have to live with that every day of my life, that I believed her.
So here's a company we're always excited to advertise because we actually use cut your dream me, the foreign meat, delicious, 10% off your thing on Merriweatherfarms.com/Tucker. As the CIA was blocking the FBI detail from informing the Bureau, the hijackers were moving. On January 8th, 2000, CIA surveillance teams reported that al-Midhar had boarded a flight to Bangkok, Thailand. He was accompanied by a man they identified as al-Hazmi. According to the official account, this is where the trail went cold. The CIA placed their names on a watch list and asked that Thai authorities track their movements. 3 months later, the Thai government reported back. Al-Hazmi had boarded a United Airlines flight to Los Angeles.
What are you saying? No. Which it's hopefully, if you're an adult man, hopefully you don't normally start statements off like that. Thank you for being in the mix, though. Do you follow me? You're not allowed to be mean to me if you don't follow me. That's the rule here. FBI is a criminal investigation division. CIA has nothing to do with the judicial department. Yeah, but sometimes the people the CIA talks to are within the United States. So it would be, they could definitely share info. I think that's completely reasonable that they would have some overlap. So, no. Like, come on. You said that. Now you have to live with that. It's crazy. Yeah, I feel you guys on this one. A lot of you guys are saying this retired CIA is an oxymoron. Yeah, I don't know. It's still worth it's that's why I always try to do like arm's length on some of these guys. You know, you got to hear them out and stuff like that because I think they, in their processes, they can be revealing when they don't need to be. CIA is technically not allowed to work domestically. Sure, but I'm just saying, I'm talking outside of their rules and stuff. I'm saying like the way that they could have things that would help each other.
Midhar was with him. The two hijackers had arrived in the United States.
But here's my problem with this whole fucking thing and the whole subsequent investigation of 9/11.
Wait, are we just hanging out with him for the whole ep? This rules. They're like, just this dude. Just Michael Spaghetti. This is who we're talking to. Tony Pepperoni. Right, that's a dude here in Austin. We're just talking to fucking Anthony Gabagool. He's the only one we're fucking talking to.
You have the CIA then following one man and then two men all over the planet, and then eventually even to America, right? Landing in Los Angeles, California, and you don't tell the FBI.
Yeah, like that's... I could even see, in a perfect world where these organizations aren't corrupted and work well, I could see the CIA going like, hey, just a heads up, these guys are here. We need you to work with us, like for us, things like that. Look up Operation Northwood. Brother, that's Operation Northwood. Zeitgeist and learning about Operation Northwood. That's what got me into this shit, brother. You don't got to tell me. No facts, just gangster bullshit. Yeah. No, it's just funny. It's so funny. You don't think old Red know about Operation? There's some I don't know about. It's fair. But no, it's like it's just so funny you said Operation Northwood because that was the one that like got me in on this shit.
But why would the CIA want to hide the highly relevant and potentially dangerous fact that two known al-Qaeda terrorists had just landed in California? According to a recently released court filing, former White House counterterrorism czar Richard Clark told government investigators that the, quote, CIA was running a false flag operation to recruit the hijackers.
When
No, I appreciate you tuning in, brother. You don't gotta know nothing about me. I appreciate you tuning in. No one's coming at you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with me. We don't only talk about this shit, but we talk about this shit a lot on here. So I appreciate you hanging out.
Christopher Black became the head of the counterterrorism center at CIA. He was aghast that they had no sources in Al-Qaeda. So he told me, I'm going to try to get sources in Al-Qaeda. I can understand them.
Why do we call people in the U.S. government czars? I don't know why. Why is that a thing? It seems corny and stupid. It seems like, let the Russian guys do that. That's their word. Why are we calling people in the why are we calling people in the U.S. government czars? It's fucking weird. Andy, you know how in the movie different law enforcement agencies argue over how was jurisdiction over crime scene. Yeah, that's real life. Now expand that out to government agencies about who can claim credit for a case. No, I'm very aware that that's real life. I just I don't know why these agencies get such a fucking ego over this shit. And it's like, yeah, man, people die when you guys get egos. So fucking stop. Oh yeah, I've heard that a bunch. Bin Laden was a CIA asset. That's crazy to think about. I love this stuff, so I definitely much appreciate it, guys. Spread the word about these kind of things. Most people are noticing, which is great. I gotta be like I was saying that earlier. The fact that Tucker Carlson is one of the most mainstream voices in politics, and he's putting out a documentary like this is fucking crazy. Shout out to everyone noticing.
Possibly saying we need to develop sources inside Al-Qaeda. When we do that, we can't tell anybody about it.
After Clark made that claim publicly, he received an angry call from former director of the CIA, George Tenet, who did not deny the allegations made by Mr. Clark, end quote. But when we reached out to Tenet, his
Andy, Tsar is the Russian word for Caesar, the Roman designation of leader name. Sure. Let them do that. That's their bullshit. That's not our bullshit.
Spokesperson denied that the CIA was recruiting hijackers, calling it false rumors and saying, quote, that's categorically not true. He also recalled that the executive director of the 9/11 Commission, Philip Zelikow, blocked the commission's investigation into the matter at the behest of Condoleezza Rice.
CIA had this delusional grand plan. So the CIA, with their information that they had from the Hatta House and their own psychological analysis of everybody in that team, they figured the best way is maybe to recruit somebody who came over from Malaysia. Khalila Midhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi. We kept.
This guy deserves unreal credit for nailing these dudes' crazy Arab names. Sorry, that sounded shitty. But for real, that was always the hardest part for me getting into all the Middle East 9/11 shit. Their fucking names are so hard for my big dumb American brain. The fact that this dude is bodying these names is amazing.
The FBI at bay because he told Mark Rossini and Doug Miller to shut the fuck up. So let's just try to get inside there. And that's
okay. So they hadn't got anyone inside Al Qaeda yet, so that's why they didn't want anyone to know about it. Interesting. Sloppy. Stupid.
What went wrong? That was the grand lie, the grand risk, the grand delusion. You had a duty to protect Americans, and you failed because of your fucking fantastical delusion that you could recruit somebody inside the cell.
The official 9/11 report does not address.
Yeah, it's a weird move too to just be like, I don't know why I just went. I don't know why I just did that. Our government does this thing a lot of times where they're like, we're gonna get in there and we'll control it, and it's like it's way easier to just deter. Like I was talking about this with the school shooting stuff. why is there no, like, why isn't every public school just have a shit ton of armed guards? I know it feels scary and yucky, but it's like, if school shootings is this big problem you're all saying it is, why don't you not encouraging at least something like that? You know, it's like, we don't, the American government's way of solving problems does not deal in deterrence enough. Like, I remember hearing, shout out Dave Smith, he had the best analogy where it was like, it's like when you would see cops in New York dealing with dudes jumping the turnstile, rather than, like, they have this process of like waiting for the problem to happen and then figuring it out. When it's like, you should place, it's like, so they wait for people to jump the turnstile and then they arrest them or give them a citation or whatever. When it's like, if you just had one